Good afternoon, traders. Welcome to NinjaTrader Live. I'm Tracy Shuchart, Senior Economist, and here's what happened while we were away. Looks like the old leadership pattern has re-emerged in Thursday's open cash session, with the Nasdaq outperforming and a semiconductor rally pushing stocks index towards record highs. That suggests that the recent selling in tech names, presumably to fund purchases of SpaceX shares, has largely run its course. The retail sector is also well bid, while energy is falling along with crude prices. Now, when we look at, and that is the Nasdaq essentially, but if we are looking at SPX, note that June's large option expiration has kept the SPX rotating basically around that 7,500 level basically all day, which is why it hasn't been able to push higher. With the Nasdaq, it does have to do with options expiration. That level will now act as both resistance and support, as the remaining options positioning will likely pin the price action around this for the rest of the day until new levels build or a significant catalyst occurs. So if you're wondering why ES is kind of stuck, that's why. SpaceX extends the two-day drop after a week after the largest ever IPO. Company fell for the second straight day, dropping as much as 10.3% intraday to extend Wednesday's decline of nearly 5%. Still, SpaceX remains on track to end its first full week about 30% above the $135 price of the initial IPO. Now, if you want an idea of how many shares have been traded, an average of 66 billion a day in shares have traded in the first 3 days. Now, if we take this in comparison to, say, QQQ, which averaged 33 billion, and SPY, which averaged 46 billion, which are the largest traded ETFs. So amazing volume going through SpaceX. Amazon rallying today. They are in talks to sell its custom-made artificial intelligence chips for use in other companies' data centers, and its efforts to cut into NVIDIA's dominance. The third version of Amazon's AI accelerator, Trainium, is largely sold out, and there's already strong interest in the fourth version that is expected to debut next year. We did have the OPEC 2026 forecast come out. It is the month. It's like their monthly, or it's kind of their yearly guide. They said, in contrast to the EIA, they said the increased focus on energy security and energy affordability has shifted the energy policy landscape across the globe. They expect oil demand to rise to 113.3 million barrels a day in 2030 and 124.1 million barrels a day by 2050, and that's up from 105.1 million barrels a day in 2025. There was an interview with the head of OPEC on CNBC, and he kind of made some chide remarks about the IEA. Not the EIA, the IEA, which is the International Energy Association. If you know anything about the feud between those, it was funny. Anyway, moving on. 30-year fixed loan dropped to 6.47%, easing a bit from the 6.52% a week earlier, according to Freddie Mac. And Mars has just announced that they are rolling out a version of M&Ms without artificial dyes, and they'll be selling them exclusively on Amazon, and they debut in August. So there you go, no artificial dye M&Ms. How much more exciting can you get? And last but not least, if you're wondering why markets are kind of grindy and slow today, it's probably because apparently all of Wall Street is at the Knicks parade. Apparently they had the viewing areas along the route opened up at 6 a.m. The spots were mostly snatched up before then. By about 8 p.m., all the viewing pens were pull. They have millions of spectators there today for that parade. So looks like it's all quiet on the fronts with Wall Street, probably at the parade. And with that, I will send it to Jim for an Edge report.
Wow, my day just got better with the M&M news. I mean, now I'm jonesing for some M&M, so we're going to go ahead and get this going here so I can get out to the store. Let's check a look at the NASDAQ. This is the NASDAQ right now. Big green candle today, big comeback after a couple of red candles. Again, we're above that June open right now, which is pretty good. And actually, if we close right here today, this would be the third highest close of all time. Now, we're not done yet. We could still push up a little bit higher, but right now we're way above the VWAP here. And then this key area, which used to be resistance, is now support. And it's looking kind of far behind. 29,785 is that level, and it's pretty close to that benchmark candle's piercing line, which is at 29,782. That's kind of a support zone for me right now. But so far, we might not need it, man. This thing is moving. Let's go intraday charts. And right now, you can see this on a daily candle. We're taking it to the limit one more time. To the limit one more time. So having said that, we have a target. We have resistance, 0 DTE call resistance, 3750 right now. And it's just a little bit short of that right now. That's going to be kind of sticky, though. It'll be kind of hard to break through. We could break through, though, for sure. We just need to get to 735 to achieve Stowe's goals, which you'll learn about in a second here. But again, the moving averages are moving up pretty nicely here. We have a really nice VWAP, pretty far behind. We lost VWAP in the rearview mirror pretty much, I don't know, 2 o'clock in the morning. So it's been a pretty nice guide. We had one nice VWAP touch during the initial balance. Didn't quite get to it, actually. At what time was this? 11:30 to 11:45. R1 was in the way, and buyers brought us back up. A little bit of a pullback now, really, really tiny. We'll see. We'll add some fib lines later on today and see if this is the real deal. Let's shoot over to gold. Where is my gold chart right now? We were talking about that well, I guess we'll call it the green room a second ago. There we go. Daily chart doesn't look good, right? There's nothing good about this daily chart. I mean, we're below the yearly open. We're trading between that and the March 3rd, 2026 low at 4,100, even number right now. A couple of weird candles with gaps and stuff like that. And then the body of today's candle here is heavily situated toward the bottom. Now, we tried to rally and it failed. Right, we tried to rally back up to the yearly open. Sellers pushed us back down. Now we're starting to generate a little bit of a wick at the bottom here. Let's take a look at the intraday chart and see what that is showing us. A couple of things I want to show yesterday too, because see this low yesterday here on the close. This is that represents that red line that goes across there at 42.37. We tagged it. And we traded along it. We didn't get any traction to the downside. Instead, we got a little bit of a pull up here. Not a huge one, and we're still not out of the woods yet, but let me open up this volume profile for the regular trading hour volume profile. Double distribution. Kind of wacky looking for sure. We're trading above the first point of control, and it's hard to tell where the point of control is in this kind of market, but I'm going to peg it at about 42.60. So we're above that. We're below this 20 EMA, and then the second distribution is up here at 42.62. And there's a whole lot of emptiness in between here, that volume deficit, I'll call it right now. So until we kind of break into there, right now we're kind of framed between pretty much I'm going to call this kind of the sub value area, right? And they will start approximately 42.50-ish down below. We're kind of in that zone right now, but things could accelerate quickly. You never really know. So keep an eye on that. The bottom, I think, is a good bottom. I think the bottom is in. Again, a news bomb situation, anything could happen, so be on your toes for sure. And then session VWAP's really, really far away. We are actually in the... No, we're not. We're not in the IB here as well. We're outside of the IB as we speak. So that's the story of gold. E-mini S&P really quickly here. Let's just go to the daily chart if we can. Again, inside bar today, though. Got to remember that for tomorrow. If we end up right here, inside bar so far, that doesn't necessarily mean anything other than breakout traders that are position traders or swing traders are going to look for breakouts below the previous candle or above the previous candle. So again, we're below the June open here. So this is, from that respect, it's a little bit weaker, a little bit of a weaker market. Even the S&P, no break. We have a 76% chance of a break one way or the other, and only a 1.75% break or something like that, a chance of no break, right? So we didn't hit the upper target, not yet. We're kind of retracing right back down toward the middle of the IB. Here's the middle of the IB right here. It's 75.58. If that doesn't hold, I don't know. We could maybe see the bottom of the initial balance today, but we'll find out. And we have some smarter minds than me ready to go to trade the close. Let's get in here, guys. We've got Jack Gleason, Chris trading boxes, and the one and only Stowe. Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Yo, Jim.
Hey.
Ooh. Man, well, by the way, let me remind everybody, me and Stowe are working overtime today.
That's right.
We are going to stick around. After the bell rings, Stowe's going to do a Develop Your Edge segment on how to build day trading guardrails with VWAP and volume profile. So I'm looking forward to that. We're taking questions, folks, so stick around and go ahead and queue up your questions. It's going to be awesome. All eyes will be on Stowe. In the meantime, Jack, what are you thinking about this afternoon?
As we were talking about in the green room, I just picked up a long here in GCs and the ES, keeping it really tight. The NASDAQ target that I had for the day was up at this 30,727. So I'm a little curious that if we do start selling the NASDAQ, it'll drag the ES lower. But we've been trending up all day. I just got long the ES. You can see my targets right there on my screen. See my targets there right there on GC. But I do like the sweep of the prior day's low as far as like, I know you're saying that daily chart looks really, really ugly, but gold has a tendency to sweep lows and then reverse. We barely swept the low here. This is just below the prior day low. Inverse fair value gap. I have this blue bar here that I refer to as a trend bar. And then once we kind of confirmed and made this new high, I literally just placed an order at the 50% retracement of this range, getting a decent reaction here. Just got targets up at this new high, and I'll continue to trade this series as we go higher. Not looking for much. I'm not planning on holding anything overnight. Going into a 3-day weekend, we'll see if things slow down because, like you said, or Tracy said, everybody's at the Knicks parade. So I guess we're the only ones here working. This is the real Wall Street.
Oh man, Christian, what are you thinking, man? Oh, so Mike, check Mike.
Just kidding. I'm long NQ. I'm just probably gonna sit in this long. I don't know how it'll be towards the end. I did have targets up here into the 730, 740s as well, like similar to Jack. And we've made it here. So it's either we consolidate here and push out more into the prior breakdown area here on 800, or we get a normal pullback into the close. But really at this point, nothing much for me to do. I partialed out and I'm just sitting in this IB long.
Very, very good. Stowe, what are you thinking, man?
Yeah, I have a weird take for me, which probably means it's not going to work. But I was watching this sell. I don't know. ES is doing much different things than NQ is, and this is a ton of just grind down selling that stayed on sides the entire way. The OR mid had like 75.70 really served as like the world's most insane resistance. We popped it, and then it's just been grind sell down below it ever since. So I put a couple MES short on there, and I'm wondering if we can get to the other side of this range. NQ's gonna need to calm down in order for that to happen, but I don't know. I like it, so I'm gonna take a shot.
All right. Sounds good. Well, I mean, I'm ready to dip in the chat. You guys have a great trading afternoon. And then again, everybody remember 4 o'clock. Stick around. Me and Stowe are going to keep going. So good luck, you guys, on your trades.
Thanks, brother.
Take care, Jim. Happy
Later,
Father's
Jim.
Day.
Thank you. Thank you. You too.
Hey, boys.
What up, gentlemen?
Whipping action this morning, but getting the result for the upside. I was on Trade the Close yesterday. I was like, I think Asia is going to be a really good session. Anytime you have those super volatile FOMC, pushing into the close, that Asia session was great. I think better than today's session so far. But I remember looking at my phone at like 8:00 and we were up 400 points, or maybe it was 9:00. I was like, we're up 400 points. I took like one trade in Asia, but I sure as heck didn't think we were going up 400. I was happy with like 75 points.
Come on, you turkeys. Yeah, it's weird. We really slowed down into the afternoon, but the liquidity didn't really show up in any sort of meaningful way to like fill out the book. And when it, like, I would expect that there would be less liquidity since we slowed down so much. What are we just going to bounce at the point of control? What is this? This is my nightmare.
Yeah, I mean, I could see us getting, what your thought was, down maybe back to 49s or even 39s here if we don't hold. Right here is where we need to hold. Like, this is like the continuation, or we're going to come off that NASDAQ target. I think Chris and I kind of got similar levels here, and the break of the NASDAQ below 30,000, like 30,660 is really, I think, going to create a waterfall if we do crack that level. That's really what I'm watching for confirmation for a bigger pullback. But
yep. Same. And I don't have the Dow up or the Russell or anybody that would be able to give me a hint, but something's got to be. Yeah, okay. Something's got to be sad because NQ is very, very happy right now.
Yeah, Dow's basically on lows the RTH session. Russell's pretty much on highs of the RTH session, just a little bit. It's been consolidating for some time, unable to break that midday high though. So,
all right, there we go. I got one off. This trade's trying to get free, but I agree with you, Jack, on 670, 660 area for
6-7.
God, kill me. Chris, do you know that they have an entire Spotify playlist of brain rot 6-7 songs that have been made by what I can only assume to be terrorist organizations to torture unwilling parents?
That's
Really?
funny.
Yeah, man. And and I have to listen to them. I got a 3-hour road trip to do after this day, so I'm gonna be hearing all the 6-7 songs.
Oh, I got a 2-hour road trip. Where are you going?
I'm just going back to northern Pennsylvania to go play some golf with my dad, and Willow's going to go to. There's like it's like the Allegheny National Forest, and there's like a reservoir out there that has a bunch of like fun stuff. So
Fun.
yeah, we'll go do some fun summer vibe things.
How's your golf game?
It's okay. I only really play for fun.
Yeah.
I am going to start taking some lessons next month, I think, because my dad's getting really good, and I've been putting off taking lessons. But
Yeah, can't let your dad beat you.
correct, yes. And that dude's got like a simulator, like he's cheating. Clearly, he's cheating.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I love the simulators.
Yeah, it's cool. I also love doing that. That was a big wintertime fun thing for sure. It's fun to be able to golf in the wintertime. Chris, you might not know this, but some people in the wintertime, it gets cold enough out that you can't go outside and golf.
Really?
Yep.
Great, crazy concept.
Wow. They didn't tell me that about America when I came here.
I know. They were just like, yeah, we also have tacos. Don't worry about the north.
Wait, Chris, are you Guatemalan or Ecuadorian?
Neither. What?
What are you? Are you Mexican?
Mexican. Well, hello, the land of the tacos.
It's the land of the tacos. I don't know. To me, it's all the land of the tacos.
Anything below Chicago is for you.
They say Chicago's got better tacos than Mexico. I mean, we have a little, it's called Pilsen. It's like our little Mexico kind of. but it's also a lot of Puerto Ricans. But they have the best, the real stuff. So I heard California tacos are just not it.
Get out of here.
Not unless you're cooking them. I'm sure they're pretty good then. I can't believe we didn't follow through there on that ES. I mean, not that I'm not mad about it, but because I just got saved by a tick on my stop. But
I mean, in San Diego, you can pretty much go to like a garage with an open sign, and it's a better taco than you can get in Pennsylvania.
Yeah. Oh, dude. I mean,
burritos
are called tacos.
Yeah. Oh man, some of those San Diego burritos, they're like as big as your forearm. It's crazy. I forget that place that we went to. Yeah, I don't know. That was the best burrito I've ever had in my life, was San Diego.
When there's an LA meetup, I'll take you guys to the best ones here.
That's the plan. I'm even willing to go in a day early, just so I can, go around to the Yeah, I think Chris and I, did we talk about this? We're going to try to eat like double lunch, double dinner.
Yeah.
4 tacos.
Dude, they're so good here.
I'm saving up my cheat days.
what's a taco run at your local taco stand? They're getting pricey by me.
Anywhere from $1.50 to $3.
Wow, that's cheap.
Well, there's street tacos. You're going
Yeah.
to a restaurant now?
Well, that's right. They don't wash their hands. They're a little cheaper.
No, that's a seasoning. That's
that's
sazon,
right.
as they call it.
Yeah, it's like you don't wash the cast iron skillet. Same concept.
Gotcha. Just the same. Oh man, holding
$8 for a
holding
taco?
80s here in NQ. As long as we stay above that 30,660, that's this ES. I wouldn't put out us getting new highs into the end of the day. If we hold here and get another push and the ES kind of follows up through that new high, because we really haven't broken overnight highs in the ES. We've been through them since this morning in the NASDAQ.
Yeah.
Maybe we get that, that leg up that pushes through. Actually, sorry, did we break like right at the open? It's basically the high, right?
Yeah, overnight high was broken like quickly, and then it nuked itself. And then NQ did some other weirdness.
Well, sideways for 25 minutes here, so it's time to make a decision for the ES at least. 1, 2, 3.
It's definitely back in its value. I don't know. Even Tracy told me the gamma was in the room. What the hell did Tracy say about where we got options? Is it OPEX right now?
Quad witch.
Oh God,
Everything. It's everything. So we could have a wild
witches.
close. I mean, my upside targets, if we get there, are 75, 85, 75. So that's my final target in this ES here. I'll move my stop to break even if we get 71s.
Mine's 896. My next target.
8.
896. And then 31069.
I mean, my stop was based off a 1 minute ATR here in the ES, which is like when I took the trade about 3 points. So that's about as tight as I get for an ES stop.
How about you, chat? You guys okay? Also, good afternoon. Good afternoon. I don't know. I just ain't buying this 42 guy. Like, I get it's a weekly open down there and stuff. I guess. I don't know.
I'll tell you what, though, this YM is, if you want to get short any market, it's the YM. This thing is not looking hot.
Good. Hopefully we're
I don't know,
rotating
it's-
back out of toilet paper.
Yeah, I don't know what's leading it down, but
Fair enough, Tracy. Thank you.
Infamous Monos, 1 hour FVG. To be honest, I don't really watch them on the hourly. I mean, I know they can be helpful, but there's just almost so much I can watch. June 26 has not happened yet, so I'm also confused about that.
Dude, if you're from the future, I have a lot of questions, and they're not about IFVGs.
Yeah. Me too. You can tell us what's going on in June 26 and where the S&P is going to be added. What are they called? Butterflies? I mean, you like nail the middle.
I'll take who's going to win the World Cup, please. I'll take that.
We all got our questions.
Just put bury a sports almanac. Wait, would that work? No.
Come on. Here's the open of this 5-minute candle here. This is the first open after 25 minutes. We usually will start after 25 minutes. We've been basically crossing the same level. So I'm thinking here before 2:30, we will get a move to either my stop or my first target, which my first target's about 4 points. Stowe, you going to drop any hints about what you're going to be talking about today?
Oh, sure. It's nothing crazy. It's just the way that I have found to look at different high time frame stuff and kind of distill it into a thing to keep in the back of my head while I day trade. It allows me to use, because like one of the bigger problems I had when I was, I don't know, in like year 3 and 4 is, you get good at something or you get okay at it. And then you're like, well, okay, maybe I should try this. Like you're still in experimentation phase. And so you're always adding and adding and adding. This is how your chart fills up. I mean, I've got a lot of lines now. You should have seen it back then. But I found a way to kind of because I don't dislike having a bunch of different plays for different environments because the market changes all the time. I would like to be able to know how to approach it whenever anything happens. But I needed rules to kind of take a bunch of plays off the table for the day and be like, all right, these are the plays you can run today. This is what you're looking at. Don't run anything else because those plays, even though they seem like they would be fun, they're going to chew you up. So it's just more about how I do that stuff.
Cool. So like rule filtering.
Yeah, kind of. And different auction market theory stuff. Different than what XY covered. I'm kind of a weird auction market theory person. I believe in the theory of it, but I use different stuff to look at balance and the way that balance forms and trend forms, things like that.
I'll have to catch the replay because I do have to hit the rubber.
That's okay. No offense
the
taken.
Road, dude. You seen that meme?
Yeah. We've seen it, Chris.
Hit the road, dude.
Chris, have you read all those books behind you? Are you like
probably 80% of them? Yeah.
The other ones your girlfriend bought you?
Yeah.
Do you have one that's like hollowed out with dollar bills in it?
What would you keep in there?
My stash.
Nice. I knew it.
His stash of trading strategies just crumbled up into paper.
My Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Hell yeah.
For sure.
Exactly.
For sure. Oh my gosh, do something ES. I like either one. I hate being in a trade this long without like us completing either my first target or my stop. Even with this, there's my alarm that I've been in this trade for 25 minutes. That is pretty rare to not, with using a 1 minute ATR, we have not even moved that in 25 minutes. That is crazy. I mean, I multiply it by 1.5, but that is as tight as it gets. CL's rallying pretty hard. Just had an alert sent to my phone.
I guess I should open that and see. Oh my goodness, look at you, Crude, all the way down here.
I know. I have some alerts set and I get text messages to my phone, which is super helpful when you're not at the desk. And just had like 3 texts come across my phone. And now I see why. Wow. Okay, crude. I was thinking 72, like, man, did that thing come down quick? I think we're pretty extended here in CL for sure. But not be surprised to see us back up at 80 by Monday.
Hey Charles, I don't have it set at anything. I have it. I refresh it manually, so I don't have a time frame to reset the bid and ask. I like to just press the X button when I want to see it. And sometimes, especially for ES, I'll let the thing go all day.
Oh, it makes new lows here. Yeah.
It's just like I just don't. It just keeps chickening out right there. I just don't believe you. It's like even when I'm short, I still have to make fun of the bearish side. It's just like I can't get out of it. Because like, come on, push, please. They won't even cross the spread right there at 61.
Oh, it's crazy. The volume has disappeared. This feels like a summer end of day right now. Although I'm still not getting too hopeful for much of a continuation unless we can crack those 3660s in the NQ. But boy, it's
Hey, Stowe, do I mark my pivots manually or automated? And if so, what indicator? What pivots are you talking about? If you're talking about my squiggly lines, those are not what I would call pivots. I would call those range extensions. And that's something I made. It's not really worth giving to people. It's just like, it's just based on some extension mathiness, but you can always just come here if you want to see it.
Did it make a new low? Oh. 61.
no new low, dude.
Oh,
wow.
Equal lows.
Thanks, I hate it. Thanks, I hate it.
This is probably one of the tightest stops I've ever had where I've been in a trade this long, not in the overnight session.
This is where I need to see NQ breakdown. It's right here.
Yeah.
Hey, for your overnight sessions, are you pretty comfortable now just setting like OCO orders and then stepping away to sleep?
Me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, we really have to be in a certain. I actually set one last night in the Nasdaq, and it's a little bit automated, but I picked up the low at 12:45 East Coast time, and ran it for. Let's see how many points did I take out of that? Like 100, like 180 points out of it on my final target. But yeah, it's the way I have it, and I'll actually go over in my session. So my size, like if I want to risk $500 on the trade, it'll calculate the proper size I need throughout the night. So if we're in a tighter range and the ATR is tight, it'll allot X amount of contracts. Or if we're, in an expanding range, it'll lower the amount of contracts. And then if we move, the position will actually adjust too. So that gets me pretty comfortable with, it's literally just doing what I would be doing, but we have to have a certain setup. I mean, that type of move overnight, like continuation, I don't like buying retests overnight, or like the only trades I really look for if I'm going to take it overnight, I'm expecting a continuation sequence. So, and I'll automate, everything. So my stop will be automatic. My first target will be automatic. The orders will be automatic. And the size will be automatic. So as long as we have like a trend where I feel like I can appropriately apply that, we need to be, then yeah, I'm comfortable with it.
Pretty annoying. Pretty good thing for buyers just happened over here on NQ for now. This was the bottom of the +1 standard deviation is around here at 75, and they came in lifted a ton at 78 just out of nowhere, just mark it in. So this is, I mean, the attempt to hold it is here.
Yeah, 78 is exactly where I want us to see bids. But man, this ES is leaking. Middle of the prior day's range in the ES is 57s, so that's kind of right below us. I can see us just, there we go. There's finally my stop
Oops.
bet for being in a trade for, oh my gosh, 40 minutes with a 3-point stop. That is absurd.
Filling up a little bit on NQ.
Jack, are you trading the overnight on the desktop or on the web version?
Desktop. I don't trade on the web.
And it hasn't been any issues? Because I just started trading Asia for the IB strat that I have, and
I had
just
some
wanna know-
issues with the YM recently for some reason. I don't know. Like even today, like it would show my position wouldn't actually reflect in my P&L on the desktop, but it would reflect in my P&L on the web. So I don't know. And like I had chart issues, so I don't know if there's something going on with the YM because of rollover, but there was something very strange. But normally, no. What issues did you have?
Nothing. I'm new to night trading, so I just want to know if you come across any,
No.
like server issues or connection issues that mess up your trades and, things like that.
Yeah. Gosh, there used to be a lot of those, but no, man, unless you lose internet, but everything I have is like server side OCOs. So like, even if my computer shuts down,
Yeah.
I don't really get affected by that. Like I've taken a trade, like I wasn't sure before, like I'd take a trade, on a laptop on the desktop platform with my orders in, and then like have to shut my computer down, but then like be staring at my phone and making sure like those
Yeah.
orders are still going through because like Ninja's not running, and yeah, I mean it's worked.
Coolio.
You doing that pajama trading there, Chris?
Yeah, so I realized that for the IB strat that I have, New York time, for Asia, it works really well. It's up 150% this year.
Nice.
So I started trading it like a week and a half ago, and I'm going to see what it does until the end of the year. But I was just concerned with, since pretty much I'd go to sleep if there's any issues ever. I mean, the account's not big enough for me. I mean, it's still a concern, but
Yeah.
I think if it was like over 6 figures, I'd probably, I don't know, be a little bit more careful, but it's 50 grand.
Chump change.
not at all, but I'm pretty much playing with house money at this point from the profits I've made from the IB strat. So like I know I can make that back.
Could get that crack of the 60s here.
Pain.
Man, I really like, almost the Russell on a pullback more than anything. Russell's really been.
No streams tomorrow.
Yeah, we get a day off.
Yep, this is Virtual Friday, folks. Please enjoy.
Yeah, this is trade the close on a virtual Friday, which I don't think has ever happened.
True.
What is a virtual Friday?
Well, it's a Thursday that is an actual Friday. Like
I see. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So like every summer Thursday,
Pretty much.
a virtual Friday. I was like,
projection?
what?
This is moving so slow
It's
that I'm literally inside of level 10 right now, staring at this book, trying to find.
I'm about to pick up a book. I'm about to pick up a book.
I got some. Let me pick you one.
Yeah. Hand it through the screen. Can you read it to me, Chris? Yeah, I mean, I guess oil's moving if I want to pick a market that's moving, but well, let me take a look at that again. Jeez. Rallied basically $1 since we've been on.
Well, the point of control on NQ is still down there for now. They're so different. Maybe I should load up a Dow chart and see what's going on.
Yeah, I just feel like I got nothing to do here personally.
Yeah, me neither. Gonna sit in this IB trade and call it a day.
What else is moving? Let me pull up my scanner. So, been working on this thing. This is actually an add-on inside of NinjaTrader that I've built. And the YM is the only market that is either all bearish right now, or I don't have anything. No, actually the NK, which I don't really trade, is all bullish on my setups. And the YM is the only all bearish market. Rex are kind of mixed bags. A lot of times when we have like this is looking really mixed, then we're not really trending, which of course you guys will notice if you stare at your screen. Not really doing anything.
That is a 9 SMA, the yellow moving average, Peter.
Gotta be some ice there. Something.
I mean, this YM does continue to hold these lows.
Yeah, I think NQ is done with its little pullback as well.
Yeah. Yeah, we didn't crack those 60s still.
I know.
I don't know. Maybe one more pop up before. It's just like buyers have run out as opposed to new sellers have come in. Just,
Well, there's some passive selling here at 680, and there was a little ice that came in as well at like 681.50. But I don't know. I just feel like, again, I'm just looking for anything I can find. Looking too hard.
yeah. Sometimes the harder you look, the worse off it is. Let's see here. I do want to try this gold again, even though I feel like I shouldn't. You see it get back above.
Vanilla Ice. His name is Vanilla. It feels pretty vanilla. Just absorbing. Not crossing the spread anywhere, like on either side. Maybe they need to make this the point of control in NQ up here. And by they, I mean
Them.
the lizards.
The lizard people.
Mm-hmm.
Are they trading again?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, this is part of the simulation, I think.
That's what you've been told.
If I was a lizard, I would make this part of the simulation. That's for sure. Because it's pretty fun.
Trading.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe another Wild Asia session.
Yeah, yesterday, the last few days actually too. 2 nights ago, straight up paid really well.
Straight up. Literally, like, this is where, like, if I'm making a decision, I'm not on here and I see how lame this action is, I'm just be like, you know what? I'll just come to my desk at 7:00. I'm going to go do what I need to get done in my life. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to go to the grocery store. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And then just check it later. Sometimes you just need that time to change, that clock to turn for whatever reason. It's like, who turned on the machines last night? I don't know.
Yeah. I definitely paid attention to it the last couple nights, but that's only because I was up watching baseball. I usually try to ignore it.
How them Pirates doing?
Good. Won the series against the A's in.
Did you win the series against the Cubs? I paid no attention.
Which one?
I don't know. The one you were telling me you were going to beat me on.
We did.
Oh, okay. There we go. See, I wouldn't know.
Yeah, but then it got rough again. The Braves swept us in Atlanta, and then Dodgers. Yeah, this is not going to sell. Yep, and then Dodgers took 2 of 3 at home. So
maybe we do pump. $60s, yep. Never cracked that NQ. My upside target, a new high, would be 764 for NASDAQ here. If we'll see though. I mean, it's just, I don't know. Maybe the last 30 minutes will get exciting, but we got a while for that. This is gonna be a long. This is gonna be a long close, dude. This is gonna be a long close.
Come on, push.
I mean, it is quad witch. Who knows? It could either be lame or not lame. What do they got for us?
Okay, Thomas.
Don, 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 don. Dun, 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 dun.
lots of weird liquidity just like showing up out of nowhere on NQ today. I'm sure it's just part of the role, but it's making the DOM a little more annoying to read. Dominic, you might need to be a little more specific. Which spikes? What spikes do you speak of?
The ones from the lizard people on their backs. Fly eye there. I'm just seeing your comment now. You like my 25-minute timer thing? Yeah. Helps you keep your eye on the ball. Or like sometimes if I don't want to watch the market tick for tick, I'll just literally set a timer and come back in 25 minutes. Like right now, I would just go stretch my back out for 25 minutes. But I would keep NinjaTrader on just because we'll shout at you if something happens.
Hey!
Hey, oil's moving.
Yeah, you could easily go do some exercise right now. I would maybe go do some planking. Enjoy yourself a nice little plank.
If you got a dog, go walk it. Chris doesn't walk his dogs. He just lets them out the backyard. Chris, how many screens are you running?
4.
How big are they?
34-inch ultra wide. So it's like a pyramid with 3 and then a 4th one on the side.
Okay. I'm picturing this in my head. So 2 and 1,
Yeah.
and then 1.
Yeah. On the far right. And the far right one is just like, Discord, things like work, email.
Yeah. Gotcha.
You guys?
Yeah, 4.
I just used to. It's not true. I have a tiny guy I put the YouTube chat on.
I ran 8 once. Totally unnecessary.
8? Jesus.
8 24s. Let me tell you what, that was a heavy setup.
Were you looking at every single time frame across ES or what?
Well, no, I was trading at an equity prop desk. So I was watching a lot of different stocks and like multiple softwares. I just had like one screen for execution, and then like I'd have like, all of the sectors.
Yeah.
And then like individual names on the sectors. With stocks, you just got to watch a lot more.
Yeah. I feel like trading NQ or ES is so much easier because you guys can just focus on 1 or 2 products.
Yeah.
And it's a repetitive structure, right? Like over time, we're trading the same sort of idea across time. So, I mean, I don't want to say that, it's trading is easier, but when you're trying to juggle all these stocks that are moving everywhere, and then you just look at NQ and it does the same thing almost weekly, it becomes very simple to know where you need to execute.
Samzid, I have no idea. Like, this isn't like prop, like you guys know prop. This was like a real prop desk with like, you needed to be licensed. It wasn't like you sign up for a test. It was like a real. I had a 56 series 56. It's called. You don't need. I don't even think it exists anymore. So I don't know what firms do prop equity, because the reason you haven't seen an explosion in prop equity is because of the FTC or SEC. As far as what I understand, their restrictions are. They have much more control than the CFTC does as far as like what they allow and things like that. So I don't know. I've had people reach out to me that like have prop equity, but I don't remember any of their names because I've never traded them.
No DJ trades. I'm using from the start of Asia, not Globex, for the overnight IB trades. So 5 to 6 p.m. Pacific time.
Yeah, I was trading up to like 1 million shares a day, which sounds like a lot, but it's not really a ton. I have a friend of mine who's head of engineering at, God, what's the firm called? Optiver, which is huge. And he has 80 engineers below him. And he told me they do like $20 billion, $15 to $20 billion in trades a day. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Goodness.
Yeah. Pretty crazy.
Yeah. Slightly toasted. Save that question for later. It's a really good question. I closed that trade, by the way. I just hate it. It could still work, but it's just it came back to my entry. I just don't want to.
Yeah, if you look at a 15-minute chart, that's right. That's also the 50% retracement from the, lunch low right there at that 75.60s. And once again, that guy's, geez, sorry about the sirens. I don't know if you guys hear that. Can you guys hear that?
No,
It's crazy the mic doesn't pick it up. It is blaring through my windows.
that Zoom has a good filter.
That is a really good filter. Oh my gosh. It's so loud I can't hear myself. It's so loud I can't hear myself. I cannot believe that does not come through the microphone.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, but once that NQ, right, that level I thought would hold. The ES has just been the lagger all day between the two, but that's where you go with the leader as far as like watching the technicals there. The difference between that, like the ES, there's like a couple levels that can hold, like, but the NQ for me, it was like a pretty clear line in the sand at 30,660s. And like with that holding right now, I don't know. Don't see much to the downside, but yep, JT Ripper, $20 billion in stocks a day. Basically all automated. Optiver, look them up. They're huge. They're out of the Netherlands. But every major trading firm has offices here in Chicago. And this Russell's just better.
Yeah, slightly toasted. I am. I'm excited for that.
Yeah, me too.
I'm curious to see what that liquidity looks like, what the order book looks like. Yeah, that's gonna be cool.
So I think like the advantage to stocks over futures is like you have to watch more things. So like you can be much more setup specific. Like you can look for, like if you're a stock trader, you can pretty much be a long only trader and literally only look for long setups. Like if you're a futures trader, like if you're an index trader, I think it's pretty hard to be one directional, which is a good skill set to know how to trade both markets or both sides of the markets, because eventually we will have a market that goes down for an extended period of time. And if you don't know how to trade that, you'll look like a crypto bro who just sandbagged all the way down to, 15K off of 120. Yeah, I mean, trading with Jose, I have no idea. I think in general, there's probably more equity traders, and like I actually know a guy who turned down Market Wizards, but he trades everything. So,
And you make percentage wise, you make more in futures, so they're out there that are making percentage wise more than equity traders, because it's so hard to double your account with equities versus futures. You can do that in 2 trades.
Sorry, Infamous Manos. Yeah, I mean, it could still work. It was just, I mean, I'll be honest, it was just pissing me off. And I found myself getting annoyed. And I was looking at NQ really hard. And I'm just like, I don't know. I had to mentally take myself out of that trade just because it sucked to be in it. And it's Virtual Friday. In my vibe check, I had to check a bunch of things. Like I have a bunch of outside factors going into my trading today. I've got this thing at 4:00, which I won't lie, I am a little nervous about, just a touch. And then yeah, I got stuff with the kiddo, so I just found myself getting grouchy at the screen. So I was like, you don't need to be in this trade. Just get out of it. I was basically, my entry was like 3 points above the point of control. So if it didn't work right away, I didn't really want to be in there anymore.
All right, Elaborio, you're asking on the daily and the 4-hour charts, you're having a hard time determining the higher highs and higher lows. So let me show that to you so you can see why it shouldn't be hard. So, and I'm going to go over NQ. I don't know if you trade NQ or ES, but on the 4-hour here in NQ, we were in that long consolidation here. We gapped up, we went. That was the high of that trend. And then it ended when we moved back below the 9MA. We consolidated again, and now we're starting a new breakout. So it's a fresh start. Remember, you have to reset it. If you're considering how I look at the market via the 9MA trend sequence, This is a new startup trend. Startup trend, higher high, higher low, higher high. You see how it comes after resetting from a consolidation? That's how you have to look at it. If you go to the daily here, you're saying, what's this? Don't even think about this. This prior trend ended already. Okay. This was one big daily 9 MA uptrend. It ended. We reverted back to the mean, which is the 2050 EMA area. We're gapping up, pushing out higher. So that's the new start. So now you have high, higher low, and we're consolidating inside that daily higher, high, higher low in a wedging structure. Does that make sense? So you always want to make sure you are focused on the present structure, not what happened to the past, or else you will have a hard time understanding the structure that's taking place, like you shared, and then you might not trade in alignment with it.
Oh, my boring. I'm going to stick an order below in the NQ, and then I'm just going to do nothing. Bought.
Trying to see where we're headed here. Yeah. Yeah, I just couldn't get past that weekly open in ES. I don't know why I was trying to sell this so hard today. I don't know. I'll have to think about that.
I know BE.
Man,
It's
I
just
can't believe
chop.
gold's selling off like this.
Chop.
I can't believe it. I should have figured out how to. Is there a short gold ETF? I should have figured out how to buy that.
There is.
Nugget. Is it Nugget or what that's long gold?
It's long gold 2 times. There is an inverse gold. What is it? I don't know it.
Man, I knew once I started to hear those commercials, it was doomed.
Yep. You did say that.
Chop, guys.
Yeah, I don't think so, JT. I don't really look at the. You're right. Like it was declining point of controls. I guess today is a day where the higher time frame held a little more weight than I was willing to give it. Yeah, I just didn't believe it. I just didn't believe this was holding at 40s. I mean, it's the bottom of that node. It's the beginning of the gap. It's the weekly open. We filled that gap during FOMC. You know, no reason for me not to just try to be long down there, but I didn't do that. Maybe my prep sucked today. I don't know. It's possible.
Because you were overly bearish? Is that what you're saying?
Nah, I just wasn't as bullish as I should have been on the higher time frame stuff. I should have been looking for a bounce there at the 75.40s. I should have bought that a million times, and I just didn't. I just wasn't buying it. This day was really. I mean, it came off the open so pissed. Like it would sell off like 30 points in 2 minutes, 7 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, I don't know. In the past, I've tried to catch something that looked like this, and this is just continuation for lower. in that scenario. So I don't know. I will have to review today. Also, there's not, I think the fourth witch is dead. They've killed the fourth witch, by the way, Jack. One of them doesn't exist anymore. Or VIX moved to Wednesday or something.
Oh, it was right. It's on Wednesdays.
Yeah. I don't know. You had the same thing, Perry? Yeah, I mean, hmm. No, it wasn't Hitman. But we can add that. They are going to have quarterly expirations. So that can be the fourth witch. Wasn't it VIX, though?
Yeah, it is. It's like SPY-X dividend, options expiration, quarterly expiration, and futures roll, I think.
Oh, fair enough. Are you right? I can't tell when you're joking or not.
No,
Hitman.
I mean,
No, I was talking to this dude in the chat, who is notoriously very sarcastic. And so I can never tell when he's making a serious statement. US JPY continues to accelerate here.
I haven't looked at that guy in a while. Trending bearish on my scan.
Alpha Rocket, I have a very strong and often unpopular opinion about cumulative delta. I don't think that it is useful for intraday trading for what I do. I think it's much better to look at, I don't know, like you can look at this. Just look at all this. See all these negative numbers? So delta is the ask minus the bid, right? So that means that here, especially this is more selling than buying, right? And when you see this and price continues to go below it, these are sellers being rewarded. The opposite is true for the blue numbers. They are positive numbers, so this is more buying than selling. When price continues to go above that, that means that buyers are on sides. This was the weirdest part. Actually, this is why I feel like, yeah, this is also why I got out of this trade, because I feel like I have no idea what the hell's going on right now. To be frank, because all of this selling got rewarded. It all started right here at the top of this leg. Sellers just piling in. No active bid at all. No blue team. And then we just stayed down here. They just didn't care for anything. So I don't know. It wasn't as reactive as I thought it would be. But cumulative delta is just going to show you the total of the entire day. And I just don't know how you would possibly be able to glean anything price action wise from just like a big sum of the total ask minus the bid for the day. Because you're not able to tell, like, you have no way to even infer what those positions are even attempting to do, like, at all. But at least here, you can, like, kind of infer that if we're below this selling, that whoever sold it in this microcosm of the auction is on sides. So, yeah, I just don't think it's enough. It's just not zoomed in enough for me. maybe if you're trading on a higher time frame and you're swing trading, you could use cumulative delta for the day, for the session. I don't know.
Yeah, I just looked at the 6J. My goodness, I think it's clocked today. I'm going to set some alerts there.
String Bean, so do you have a question then that you like to ask on what I can share? What the fudge?
See, I can get behind something weird like that, Composite Trader. That's cool. That CBD has its own like dummy levels that just kick around. That makes sense. Mm-hmm. Damn it.
You're mad you didn't hold?
No, no, yes. I don't know.
It's just a trade.
Yeah, it's just a trade.
Good way to look at it. There's always another one.
Yeah, I mean, we take how many per week? Per month?
Thousands, millions.
In 5 years? It'll be what? 30 minis a trade? Come on. What's a couple?
You think
$20 right now?
You think I'm up to a 30 lot in 5 years? Do you think my heart can handle that at 46? I hope so.
I mean, if you're looking at that order flow and making decisions within like 10 seconds, I don't know. I don't know how you would do that. I feel like that's too much.
I've realized that my midlife crisis is accelerating as I found myself downloading a book called Outlive about longevity. I'm like, oh shit. Okay. This is what happens. This is what happens.
By?
It is by I forget how to pronounce it.
David
Attila.
Sinclair?
Peter Attila.
Oh, Peter Attila.
Yes.
Yeah, he was on the Epstein list. We don't talk about that guy.
All right.
Yeah, he did a big apology and stuff, but
yeah, his actions
So,
were pretty bad.
You're saying I should get my $12 back and not read this book, or what do you think?
I think you should read David Sinclair. He's much more of a scientist that studies in the field. Check his book out.
Listen, I gotta do this whole hour by myself later. I can't get sucked into accidentally saying something that production is going to yell at me about. So you can't. Yeah, I have to be on later, guys.
Not only was he on the list, but he skipped his child's birth to hang out with Epstein, which I think is pretty unforgivable.
Okay. Oh, Chris, you tweeted about this guy. This is the guy's book I bought?
yeah.
Damn it. My read is off all over the place. So he's a bad guy, but he might live a long time. Should I still read the book?
I'm sure it's got useful information. I just wouldn't pay for it.
I mean, does he share wisdom of when he was away from his child's birth? Maybe.
I don't know. I'm only a half hour in.
What do you mean by that?
Well, how many kids does he have?
11. Don't attend your child's birth.
If he's got 3 kids and this is the 4th kid,
Yeah, right.
Totally acceptable.
Right, right. Yeah, that makes sense. His wife didn't want him there anyway.
Genetics is greater than lifestyle. Okay. So that's more of like a fatalist approach.
Well, yeah, you got to control the controllables.
Okay.
You can't control your genetics. You can control your lifestyle.
So I can start eating pizza every day because I would love to do that. If Composite Trader is telling me that, you know, actually I should probably just pull the chat with my life decisions.
Okay, if you were stuck in an island, what's the one food for both of you that you'd eat every day? The one
Bananas.
meal, not food, meal.
Meal.
Or, I mean,
Bananas.
Sure. Bananas a meal, sure.
I mean, what else is there on this island? I mean, do I get a 5-star chef on this island with me, or
one meal, like one food to eat.
So like it magically appears.
Yeah, let's say you're granted that sort of wish.
So I don't have to make it.
Honestly, you can only.
Guys, this is a simple question here. What is
it's not. There needs to be. I need more information. Like, is it one dish?
Yes.
Okay.
One repetitive meal that you're eating at morning, lunch, dinner, snack. It's the same thing over and over again.
Well,
created by like a magic genie that it appears. I don't have to make it.
I would do like green beans and a steak, and I probably would only eat twice a day.
And you, Stowe?
My heart wants to say lasagna. I'm pretty sure I could eat lasagna. I'm not a big breakfast guy anyway. Do I have soda waters on this island? Like, what's my drink? Can I have soda waters?
Sure.
All right, thank you. Okay, cool. If I have soda waters.
Well, the other thing you got to think about, if you're eating it every day, you probably don't want to be doing it for taste. You got to come in the medium. Otherwise, it's not going to taste good after a while. There's just no way.
I mean, a breakfast burrito sounds good. I feel like I could eat that.
Yeah, I think it might be Mexican food.
Hell yeah, amigo.
Yeah, it really might be. Like,
yeah, Jax. I'm long from 10:30 this morning off the IB trade. I took half off already into 2R, and then I'm just sitting on the rest per the rules.
And cigarettes. Do I get cigarettes on this island?
Bro, you want everything.
All right, cool. Well, it's just the chat's asking. I don't know what comes on the island.
What kind of cigarettes? What kind of cigarettes are you smoking if you are stuck on an island? What kind of heaters are you chiefing?
I mean, you got to go with American Spirits, I imagine. If money's not an issue, if the magic genie is just...
If money's not an issue.
Yeah.
What color?
Oh, yellow. You don't want to go harder than yellow.
You can go light blue. Newports. What?
Hold on, let me check that.
I thought they were going to outlaw those.
Check the Cubs standings real fast.
String beans, yes, the same approach that I do here. Actually, I have a swing trading background, and I applied the same approach to day trading futures, and it's the same thing. Not so much breakouts, but it's the same process of trying to capture the trend, but just on a smaller time frame. Investments, it's a little bit different. I like to buy stocks on a discount, like minus 30 to 50%. I'll start buying some there versus looking for breakouts, because eventually, unless we go through a bear market or recession, and they'll go back up. Right. Okay,
Chris, when you're doing stock world, are you still just technical Chris, or are you like looking at, I don't know, EBITDA or whatever the...
No, I'm not looking at any of that. Yeah.
All right, cool.
Because you can be, it becomes an opportunity cost if you like a stock because of the fundamentals, but we're in a raging AI bull market and you're looking at a train company because of, solid fundamentals. You're going to be stuck in that.
Just because you like trains?
You're going to be stuck in that.
Chris loves a good train.
Listen, I thought this was a foursome. It's a threesome.
Oh, puppy tie. That's four. That's four.
Yeah, no, it was labeled as a foursome. I showed up expecting more dudes, but Leo's missing. Did it not say Leo's name on here? When I logged on, I swear.
Yeah, it did. I don't know what happened to him. What traders influenced me the most? Kwalamagi, for sure. Who else? Oliver Kell.
Can we get some likes for Tracy, guys? We need to pump him up. Can we get to 170 here? That's a small ask. We're at 145. I know it's been boring, but we're doing our best.
I'm not. I should have stayed in that trade.
We're gonna run a train on these likes, says Cooper.
Oh my.
Just gonna hammer it. Hammer it.
Yeah, we need a 1-to-2 ratio on likes to viewers. That's for sure.
I feel like a 40% is about where we end up most of the time.
The second one is Oliver Kell. Nicholas Darvis, of course. Dr. Van Tharp.
Doctor. All right, swept the low of the day in the YM there. Here we go, Cooper on the screen.
This guy is a mini Bernedoodle.
They'll just mix any damn thing with a doodle, won't they? They'll just put it like the poor poodle is just like, we need 50% of a poodle in here for every single dog.
I mean, imagine being a stud poodle, though. You're like, really? You want me to,
I mean, I'll do it.
You want me to breed with this? You get every kind of dog in the park. Just going to mix it up. Stud poodles. For one day, you got a golden retriever. Next day, you got a Labrador. And they wind you up for like a hound or something.
Oh, ho, brother. Ho, whoa, whoa, whoa. Now, you got too much dip on your chip.
Let's see here.
Yeah. Gonna have to talk to the diary quite a bit about this one. Same with NQ. I mean, lots of opportunities that I just was not interested in. Was I afraid to be long down there? Like, what the hell was I doing? Just got really, really, really influenced by that opening drive. Tracy, is the straight open? What's our new? Is our new market is pricing this in things? Just things that Warsh said yesterday.
Stud poodle. Great gamer tag. Play a little Halo 2 with stud poodle. Somebody go to studpoodle.com and tell me what's there.
Oh God, please don't.
Pass.
Don't, please.
I'm not going. Somebody else do it. Just tell me what's there.
Listen, I grew up in an era where if your friend told you to go to a website, the first thing you do is don't go to that website. All right, fair enough, Tracy.
Studpoodle.com.
Chris, do you focus primarily on futures and swing trading, or do you discuss equity trades in your group? I discuss equity trades in the group. I share my trades. It used to be more education on the swing trading side, but I stopped because the focus has been futures. So I would say it's 95% futures, 5% swings. because it's just, you can imagine, because of my exposure with Ninja and what I'm doing with futures, more people are there for that. And I'm just pretty much swing trading. And there's a few of us who swing trade in there.
Any stud poodles?
Afternoon heats.
Anybody here own any horses?
Not me. Just one orange cat. Unless you're asking chat. I assume that you knew
I
didn't
believe
own
the
a
most
horse.
successful gambler in history is a horse better. I forgot the guy's name, but he moved to Hong Kong. Billionaire off horse betting.
Really?
Yeah. Bill Tannen? I don't think it's Biff. I think it's Bill something. He owns a castle in Ireland. I've actually been to it. I think it's called the Adair Manor. Try to get my sports betting friends over to the future side of things. Yeah, the Adair Manor. No, maybe he doesn't own it.
Hey, RH, yeah, man. It'll be recorded. Same way that all this stuff is always, available in replay or review or whatever. And the point of control is still down there at 570. What a weird day.
Yeah. Just chop.
Yeah,
Chop, chop, chop.
660s was my I don't know. I got a limit at in the NQ down at 621s, but the thing is we're going to have going into this final, I don't think there's going to be anything crazy happening. It's just going to be a lot of back and forth. Just the way we're set up here, the indexes are, they're all trading different. They're not trading in unison really. We did trade down to that 49 I mentioned in ES and held it. But
it's not that bad of a high. Old bum. It did I don't know. It did this little thing up here. It was a bunch of absorption. It did pop it briefly. Only got 2 sold at that high on this leg. But there's also been, there's low volume at the taper too. So this is just its own auction now.
Scrux, I got a Montana tag for archery in a zone, and then there's certain areas. I don't hunt rifle, I just do archery. make it really hard on myself. Basically impossible.
True, composite trader. That Sacramento park is hilarious to watch them play in there. It's fun. I'm jealous. I would love to go to a ball game there because it's like, I don't know, in AAA and AA parks are amazing to go to. I go to Altoona a lot. Or I used to when I lived closer, but the Indianapolis Indians, our AAA affiliate, also great park. But all AAA parks basically have like the outfield is just like, hey, bring a blanket and a cooler and sit there, and that's a really, really enjoyable way to watch a baseball game. If you're a fan of blankets and things that go in coolers.
Chris's nickname is Altoona.
Hola.
The great one. I don't think we're going back to high of the day in the NQ. That high, I think, is secure. Well, 6J just stuck a nice rally. I set an alert on that after we were talking about it. We just must have rallied off the bottom. Whoa, holy moly. 6J just had a massive candle. Holy crap. Erased the entire move down from 11:15 in 5 minutes and then straight back down. It's wild.
What up, Partial? Hey, homie.
No, I don't trail using the parabolic SAR. My stop just moves to break even after target 2 is filled. I have it on my screen. But I don't, it is something you can watch, but I don't like use it under any specific rule set. It's actually built into the 5. It's one of the units of momentum I measure in my code oscillator that's at the bottom of my screen. I use 5 units of measurement for momentum. It's ATR, VWAP, swing high, swing low, what I refer to as a leg start, which is the beginning of a 3-bar move, and PSAR. So if you see the blue line at the bottom of my screen, if we're above all 5 of those, it'll be +5. If we're below 5, it's -5, and then it's a cumulative of them in between. So right now we're -3 in MGC and -1 here in MES, which is what you guys can see on the screen, which is kind of neutral. I mean, -3 is pretty bearish, but -1, -1, +1 are more neutral bias for me. But like if I see like a +5 or a -5, try to gravitate towards that. And then you can see like those labels. I just got those labels done at the bottom of my screen where it says on gold, it says bearish bias. ES is a neutral bias right now. All the indexes are pretty neutral biases except the Dow. And it's basically this scanner here that I have. All the currencies are bearish, but yeah, so bearish. The YM clearly bearish. So that'd be like the focus trade of the index if you want to get short. The other markets aren't even, they're moving higher, but as you guys all know, the Dow was moving lower better than the rest of the indexes have been moving higher, if that makes sense. So ideally, if I'm listening to myself and my rules I've built for myself, I like to trade the market that has three signals, so bearish. These are both different signals I look for based on a few different combinations. But if I can get a bear read, or like CL is bull, gold is bear, like those are going to be the favorable markets for me to trade in a trend. And then anything that's neutral is just going to be more choppy, which is what we have right now. It's just choppy markets, except once again, the YM. Yeah, always BE at 2R if that's how I have my settings set. I do have a all in, all out strategy that I run as well. That doesn't really move the break even. I mean, I can manually move it, but there's no auto break even. So it really just like keeps me in the game. All in, all out. So what'd you say? Sorry, who said something?
No, you're hearing things.
Oh, wouldn't be the first time the voices speak to me.
Hello?
Yeah, all in, all out on the stash for sure. It's either on or it's off, there's no in between. I mean, I can shave half of it. See how you guys like that? Let's get the left side of my face twitching. Well, the Dixie breaking out sure as heck makes sense why gold's getting crushed. Down almost 4% today. Ugh. My indicator, crude's right on my screen. It just turned into a neutral bias, so as opposed to a bullish bias before. But if I were, yeah, I prefer the reversion back lower because the higher time frame is down on this CL, and we actually just stopped at the 50% retracement short from the prior day's high, which we had that massive spike. So yesterday's high to today's low is a 75.98 in CL, and that's right where we stopped. And we have the bull bias has changed, and we are starting to see some selling to the downside. So I'd be more willing to participate in CL to the downside as soon as that bull trend ends. This scanner is mine, but I will soon have it available. This has taken me so long to create. Yep. It's like I don't know if you guys are probably, I don't know, maybe some of you guys have worked on projects like this, but it's like you get one thing done and then you got to do another thing, and then you got to do another thing, and then you got to do another thing. And like also just getting it all to work. Like I had to create, like I can connect this. So this I just got done the other day, but like I can connect this here. So first I created the scanner, then I needed the scanner inputs to plot on the chart. And now I connected the scanner. So if I'm switching, markets, it'll just automatically flip to those markets so I can make it there's things that you got. I mean, obviously I can only share half of my screen and I have 4. So there's things I'm looking at outside of that. But I have a segment next week on Thursday. Definitely stick around for Stowe's here. But if you guys, just a reminder, next Thursday, I'll be doing one and I'll be talking about some of this stuff. But yeah, so this is all of the markets I'm primarily trading. And I don't like to have positions on more than 4 at once, which is enough. But yeah, I mean, just like take a look at the 6S here. Like, I mean, you guys might not trade that, but it's very clear to see that like if this thing's reading bearish, like that trend is moving lower. And then it's a matter of finding an entry. There is nothing right now that's moving bullish. This is the YM here, but we're going in 20 minutes to close on Quad Witch.
I entered this trade at 10:30 today, Eastern time. It's part of the IB strat that I've developed. 10:34. So I've been sitting in it for all day. I did take off half a 2R. So we're just sitting now in this. So far, it's up 1,700 buckaroos.
It's a good day. The variables, I mean, 3 of them are things I've coded and 2 of them are standard. The ones that are standard on almost every platform are going to be a PSAR and a VWAP. And then as far as what makes something bullish or bearish, it has to be trending on my oscillator on 3 separate time frames. So it's scanning 3 separate time frames for my oscillator to determine if there's a trend or not. And if it isn't, you can obviously, like any market, like nothing's like gonna nail everything, but it's just a really good filter. Like when I know we're trading more neutral bias, I'm not really reaching for the stars. If we're trading a full bull bias, I'm more inclined to use an all-in, all-out strategy. If we're trading a neutral bias, I'm going to be taking targets faster, moving stops up quicker. But if we're trending, you're looking for new highs or new lows.
You know what this dumb cat does? He sleeps in the sink all day.
Probably cold.
He sleeps in the sink. I don't know what the hell's wrong with him. This cat's got a single brain cell. Has to be. Minimum. Or maximum. Now you're out here? All right. He knows it's about time. He doesn't know I got to do this for another hour. He's gonna be bummed.
Turn the sink on, see if he moves.
That would be horrible to do.
Your cat like water?
No cat likes water. Well, I mean, he might. He's
I know
orange.
a couple kitties that like water.
Really?
Yeah. What time frames do you use for your oscillator? Well, I mean, what I'm scanning my oscillator on is a 5:30 an hourly. But it works on any time frame you pull the chart up.
Can I talk a bit about how I plot these support and resistance levels before the stream ends? So they're automatically plotted. It's an indicator I created of these zones that I have here. But they have different colors because they mean something else. The darker ones sort of let me know the environment. Like if we are above the green zone, then I know that buyers are in control, right? Until we reclaim the next one. So right now you can see how we're dancing below the 30,750s red zone. So buyers are in control, but we're into resistance. In order to reach up into this next dark red zone, we need to reclaim 750s here. And if we can hold that on a breakout, meaning acceptance above it, then I know that the next target can be 31,050s. It's part of my overall strategy, right? Like I talk about that in the Develop Your Edge. It's a combination of trend structure, support and resistance, and then trade management with a trend following approach. So there's a lot of education behind this that I did touch on that segment, but I can't obviously, spend 25 minutes on here now discussing that. But it pretty much solves the answers for what targets can I have, where I know where we're going to find resistance. I know where sellers can show up. I know what support will be. Like this morning, we were trying to break down below this 440 support, and we just kept bouncing from it. Right? I no longer need to plot that. It gets automatically plotted for me. It's just I love these zones. Will I swing my IB trade? No. The strategy says 50% off at 2R, 25% off at 4R, and then 25% off at 6R. If only one of those gets hit, then the next step is to close it at the end of day, or else take a stop, right? Wherever it is at the end of the day. Right now, we're dancing a little bit above 2R. Maybe, hopefully, we get to 4R here into the close. That'd be great.
Just infinite bid down there at the weekly open.
Beautiful push to new highs here.
Yup. End of the day, anything can happen.
45.
Yeah, come on, give me I'm looking for 896.
I think you'll get it.
At what R do you move your stop loss to break even? When it hits 4R, I'm now allowed to move it to break even, because if at that point the price moves from 4R all the way back down to my entry, there's most likely a change in character, and I no longer want to participate in that structure. And at that point, there's really no need for me to take a stop on the rest. Like that would have to be a pretty big move, and for me to disregard that and just get stopped out on the rest wouldn't make sense.
I think we're going to have a continuation in the NASDAQ in Asia.
Yeah, I mean, it wants new all-time highs.
Yeah, there'll be a continuation trade.
It's cometh.
If you think there's a lot of info now, Nick, wait for the entire next hour. So hopefully there's even more info coming up in a second. Make sure to hang around. There's 10 minutes left of trade to close, but me and Jim are about to hang out and talk about, well, math mostly. We're going to talk a lot about math. I'm going to teach you all how to calculate square roots in your mind. Off the fly. Just kidding. Yeah, I think I think I was just chicken. I think that's what it is. I think I was just chicken. We kept pushing below the weekly open. It just kept sweeping down here. It looked like it was trying to lose it. I was just chicken. I don't think I need to think any more about it. And because I was chicken down here, I carried that thesis around for the rest of the day and spent no time looking to be long. Yep. Okay.
Attention,
right,
traders.
markets.
It's algo time.
And there will be a quiz afterwards. And whoever scores the highest gets to come with me and Chris to get tacos in California.
Yeah, brother.
You better come hungry. In the time I've gotten to know you, Chris, I think you're a great dude. But I think one of the main things I know about you is that if you're eyeing up something on a menu, it's worth also taking a look at. You know how you have those people in your life that are like, what are you getting? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think you're one of those people.
Just food is really good. I mean, I'm restricted in a lot of meals. Like I can't, have pizza, ice cream, burgers, but like a good steak, good taco.
Can you eat this stupid healthy ice cream that I'm making?
What is that?
It's a protein ice cream.
Sure,
doesn't have
what
any
is
sugar in it.
No sugar? So what are you doing?
No sugar. So I use sugar-free Jell-O pudding mix is the sweetener in there. Plus non-sugar protein powder as well. Those are the only two sweet things.
Russell
And
blasting
so what
them
flavor
this
are you
year.
doing?
So I make all kinds. My current two favorites are, my favorite Dairy Queen thing is the peanut butter parfait. So I figured out how to make that. It's basically just cottage cheese and milk, and then you put your protein powder in. The Jell-O is like the emulsifier. That's the xanthan gum that lives in there and makes it texture. And then you just use the pudding as kind of your direction. So there's like a salted caramel sugar-free pudding that I do for a salted caramel pretzel. Also, I discovered that there is sugar-free, zero-calorie Hershey syrup that is, I'm sure, extremely unhealthy and made with chemicals, but is a zero. So you can put that in there too. But dude, I mean, I'm ice cream fiend. If I can
really?
can I switch my desert island meal to just be, can I put a Dairy Queen on this desert if we're asking the genie?
And so you just cook that up and then eat it as your dessert?
Yeah, man, I eat ice cream every day. And that's my that's my last protein push to get me to my protein number for the day.
You and Jim's dad just slamming ice cream.
Got to be, man. But yeah, it's good for you. It's like a pint is like 300 calories and 45 grams of protein.
That's pretty good, man.
Not bad.
Might need that recipe.
I'm reading longevity books. I'm eating healthy ice cream. Probably the person that came up with this healthy ice cream thing was on Epstein's Island, so I probably have to stop eating it.
Yeah, you should. Might get a taste for something you don't want.
I tend to get into, every time I'm like, oh, this is cool. I'm like, oh, shit, that's canceled. That happens to me a lot. I hope Goggins isn't canceled. He's fine, right?
Yeah, his daughter tried canceling him.
Okay.
It didn't work.
I have not. I don't really go out that way, Yoda, but I'll keep that in mind. MU to 1200 before earnings. I hope so. I hope it just goes higher. I'm long.
Almost 15 points out of the low of GC right now. Come on.
I guess we're not going to targets here.
Who knows? Maybe something insane will happen at the end. This close is normally pretty ridiculous to watch.
Oh, Russell, there we go, Dow. Come on. Push through that high. This thing's going to get wild.
Yeah, let's go. Come on.
Where's your target at, Chris?
896.
Dude, how sick would that be?
Dude, Russell's just beasting. Yeah, Goggins is a boy. He's on stream usually. Only at like 4 a.m. though.
Mine.
He's Goggins is just like a crazy person.
He's the toughest man on planet Earth.
Yeah, it's basically just like
happened?
a mind over matter example of like what you can do, how to frame your own limitations and see things as opportunities instead of obstacles. That sort of stuff. He's done a bunch of crazy stuff. He was a SEAL or an Army Ranger and like a ultra marathon runner. And
I read his book.
I think he has a pull-up record, or at least had it for a while. There's a book by Jesse Itzler called Living with the Navy SEAL, which kind of got him famous. And then he wrote, I believe, at least 2 books of his own.
yeah, I just started this second one.
The military lowered their age of enlistment just so he could re-enlist. I mean, he's just a savage.
Yeah, what
The
is
guy
going
that
on with
breaks
some of
his
these
foot and keeps
stocks?
running. Ah,
Come on, push it. Right here. Last 3 minutes.
I think you're going to get it after the bell.
Yos. Some of these AI stocks are selling off hard. What's going on?
Hey guys,
What's up, Jim?
Jimster.
we are witnessing a unique day so far, but maybe not. There's been no break of the initial balance for the E-mini S&P. Looks like
It's
we might
coming.
get it right now, though.
Oh, it's
It's
coming.
coming.
1.57% chance that this fails, folks. According to Edgeful, not me. Wow. This is just kind of exciting, actually.
Oh, yeah. Let's go. What is going on? Some of these stocks are acting really weird right now.
Well, yeah, of course.
It's not
Yeah.
end of month, though. It's weird.
Yeah, but quad witch, brother. It's always...
81.75 we need to get to. Minute 15 seconds.
Come on. We need 896.
Chris still needs 100 points.
Let's go.
He keeps moving his target up.
It could happen, man. It could happen.
Either way, I closed it at 1 o'clock though. So it's either we push or I close it here.
I don't know what time zone you're on, Chris, but the market closes at 4.
Listen, if I'm on the computer from 5 a.m. to 4 p.m., gosh, that would be miserable.
Yeah, it's
Don't tell me you haven't done it.
Oh, I do it every day.
Wow,
You see,
we didn't
what
get
sucks about PST is that we're done trading, but then people are still working. I still have business meetings to do during normal business hours, but I did an 8-hour shift.
Yeah.
People don't know
No,
how
I
hard
would.
you
I
have
would
it.
not be a fan.
Wow, look at that go.
I guess now it's going the wrong way.
Yeah, it's going the wrong way.
Wow.
All right, I
Incredible.
closed it.
Historic day, man. You're flat, Chris?
Yeah.
Jack, you still got something cooking, or
I
you're out
have
too?
something on. I'm about to get out of it though. Oh, that's a shame.
I literally held it since 10:30.
Wow. Fantastic.
Nice hold.
And Stowe, you're not in any position, Stowe?
No. Traded like an idiot today.
All right, all right. Well, appreciate you guys as usual. Job well done. Let's give these guys a round of applause, please. All right, all right. Well, it's about that time. Jack and Chris, great seeing you. Have a fantastic long weekend. Hopefully, yeah, I know what you guys are doing. You told me off air, but hopefully you have a great weekend. And looking forward to talking to you guys next week.
Sounds good. Take care.
You guys take care, all right?
Later, buddies.
Have a
Later.
good weekend.
Stick
all.
around for Stowe.
Take care.
All right. Stick around for Stowe. It is that time right now. We are going to start Develop Your Edge with Stowe.
Cool stinger.
All right,
Nice.
all right. How you feeling, man?
I'm feeling okay. Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. I'm excited to do this more than I was excited to trade today. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, the last couple weeks, not maybe this last month, I've just been a little out of touch, which happens,
Yeah.
But
Well, I appreciate you doing this. I mean, this is a great series that we recently started. All of you guys have unique points of view on how you look at the market, how you analyze the market, and how you execute. And those unique points of view, are very special, and we want to learn all about it. So you're the number 3 to develop your edge, and I know it's going to be awesome. We're going to be talking about VWAP, volume weighted average price, and market profile and point of control and all of that stuff. I'm going to encourage everybody who's here with us. First of all, thank you for being here with us. I know the bell rang and you guys are tired. It's been a long day, but it's going to be well worth it. Put your questions in the chat as we go. We're going to go through. Stowe's going to do all the heavy lifting. He's going to go through some processes and what he looks at. And I already have a couple of questions that I've pinned that I'll ask Stowe as we get going when the time is right. So
Cool.
Thank you for that. If I missed a question early, everybody, retype it in, say, hey, Jim, look at me. We'll get to them all. So we're going to have a lot of fun. And Stowe, man, before we start, let's clear the record. It's volume weighted average price, VWAP, right? VWAP?
yeah.
All right.
In Chicago.
There you go.
I'm new school with a couple things, including VWAP.
There you go.
I don't know. I could change it maybe, but it would be so much effort to start calling a VWAP.
Yeah. No.
Plus, all my friends would tease me. I gotta, dude.
I tell you, my cousin. That's my cousin Vinny is VWAP. So. Oh man! All right. Well, how do you want to start? Do you want to pull up the chart and start showing us what you got there?
Yeah, we can just look at So I'm just gonna start by saying a few general things about how I look at the market. As a rule, I view NQ and ES as an auction. This is the same thing as an auction for a baseball card or, I don't know, farm equipment. It's an auction. there are buyers and there are sellers, and price is trying to figure out where it is the happiest place to be. Jim, you say this all the time, price happiness. I've kind of that's sunk into my head, so now I say price happiness too.
Okay,
What
so on
happened?
auctions, like, we think about, you're watching a movie and there's like these really expensive paintings, and the guy is up there quoting prices, and this guy's bidding, that guy's bidding, that kind of thing. That's what like a lot of folks who aren't traders think an auction is. This is similar. This is pretty much the same thing, but a little different, right?
Yes. So, well, it's different in a way that like you don't get to take it home. So, especially with ES and NQ, like you can't take delivery of these products. This is just basically a giant scoreboard in the sky, right? It's a future. It doesn't exist. This is just people speculating on how expensive or cheap something should or not, it should be or not be, and trying to find, I mean, if you're a trader, you're trying to find opportunities where it is mispriced and then get rid of it again when it is fairly priced, in your opinion. So of all the hundreds of millions of traders that exist, that's all that they're up to, is they think something is too cheap or too expensive. They're trying to buy or sell it there, and then they're trying to get rid of it at the point where they think it's priced where they think it should be.
Got it.
So with that being said, I don't really think much about anything outside of that idea. I don't look at macro stuff. I don't look at news other than to know when to not be in the market, when something's going to be whipping around. I just look at candles and VWAP, which is volume weighted average price. And the work that I do mostly involves standard deviation bands. And the one I have up for you here is, this is the monthly. This is the month of May. I figured I'd pull a whole month up so we could take a look at it. This zone, the black zone, is +1 standard deviation to -1 standard deviation. And VWAP is the line in the middle. VWAP is the mean, right? When you talk about standard deviation, the mean is the middle, and 1 standard deviation from that mean and below it gives you an idea where price is further away from where it should be. And I say should in quotations because I don't want you to think that this is like a constant reversion strategy, but this is a way for you to know when price is closer to happiness or further away from happiness. Because
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Sorry. No, I just wanted to kind of take a little bit of a step back. That curved line in the middle, that's the VWAP. And it starts at some point, right? You have it anchored at some point. I think you said May, so that would mean that you're starting the analysis at the beginning of May.
Yes.
Okay.
And we'll talk about how, so like VWAP is only useful after so much information has developed also, which is a point we'll get to towards the end. But for all intents and purposes, I look at 1 month at a time. That's the highest time frame that I look at. You can anchor a VWAP to anything. You can anchor it to a singular candle that you want to see a VWAP from. You can anchor it to a quarter. You can anchor it to a year. You can anchor it to 5 minutes. You can do whatever you want to. But for my purposes, I look at a monthly VWAP, a weekly VWAP, and an RTH, which is the regular trading hour session VWAP.
Got it.
The cool thing about the bands for me is it gives me a visual representation of trend and balance. And this is how I use the shape of the bands, which is just as important as the number itself. So if you look at this, and so this is, I don't know, you can write this down if you're trying to learn this, but for the first 7 to 10 days of the month, same with the first 2 days of the week, I don't look at the current month or week. I'll talk about what I use when we get to the end of the month. I'll talk about what I use for those time periods. But for the first 7 to 10 days, we're going to come over here to May 7th. This is kind of when we're starting to use it right here. That's where I've figured out that VWAP on the month has enough information to start to be meaningful. Like you need volume to exist in order for volume weighted average price to even show you anything. So once you get to 7 to 10 days, that's the sweet spot for me to switch to the current month. So we open that up around here. We can call it like May 7th to May 8th, May 9th. And we are in the upper band. This is, so when we're in the purple guy, we are living outside of one standard deviation. And when that happens, that means to me that we are in a price discovery situation. There's two things that price can do. Price can balance, or price can be in price discovery, meaning if price is in balance, it's sellers think it's too expensive, buyers think it's too cheap, and it's kind of living in a happy place. You can see this on the volume profile as a big capital D, or you can see it in VWAP bands in a situation where it is just pinging between the -1 and the +1. That's what balance means to me. And when price is doing that, that means that I am more neutral on that time frame. Now here on May 8th, I'm not neutral. I'm not fading this. This is telling me on the monthly time frame, we are in an uptrend. We are in an upwards price discovery moment. So that's how I use this. That's how I use all VWAP bands. If we're living inside of the upper band and the slope is pointed up, which it's a little harder to see on the monthly. If I stretch it out, you can see that it's stair stepping up. But if the slope is up, that means that we are in an uptrend. Now, I'm not using these levels of the VWAP itself. It may occasionally look like they are good, but in reality, I'm not building my levels off of this. This is just put it in the back of your head. We are in an uptrend if we're living in this band. So when I do my prep, I see us in here and I'm like, all right, cool. Buy on the monthly time frame. Now, what I'll also do is, let me turn on the weekly guy. So we're living at May 8th right here. Cool. May 8th. So this gray guy, this gray band is also the weekly band. So once I figure out where we're at on the monthly, then I zoom in one layer further and I look at where I'm at on the week. So this is the end of the week and we are spending most of our time also in the +1 standard deviation. When that happens, that's another confluence that gives me ideas to lean long. I don't want to fade this. If price is in price discovery mode to the upside, I don't want to try to get on board because I'm going to be fighting the current, the broader current anyways. When that happens, it's just easier for me to be long. The other thing that I like to do in here is when price is sloping upwards, I'll consider the distance between the +1 and VWAP itself to be more bullish neutral. So I just, I take a little bit of my excitement away, but I'm still feeling bullish. And so all of this time that we're spending up in here, this is a little less bullish on the monthly. And then when I zoom into the weekly, so this is where we'll see it flip. All right, so let's say we've traded May 7th and 8th. We're partying. Everybody's super happy. You look at the market, blue skies forever. AI is the future. You're never going to have to work again because Claude's going to solve all your problems, blah, blah, blah. Then we get 2 days into the week, and all of a sudden, I'm here doing my prep on May 12th. It's 9 o'clock right here. So this is May 12th on the open. That's 2 days into the week. So now I can use the current week. And all of a sudden, we're outside of the -2 standard deviation. We're living in the lower band on the week while we're living in the upper band on the month. This sucks. This is the worst for me. When the weekly and monthly are this pissed off at each other that we are on literal opposite sides of standard deviations, this almost never ends well for me. As you can see, and like this is when you have to give the lower time frame a little more weight in the day that you're trading, because the more zoomed in you get as a day trader, that becomes more important. So when I do my prep this morning on May 12th, in the back of my mind, I'm like, yeah, I mean, we're still in a bullish uptrend, but I have to watch my ass because the week is selling off. And these are also hourly candles. You can draw pretty quick support and resistance candles and just kind of see, obviously, this is a bridge. We broke. This is a retest. So this is how you can use standard deviation bands as a guide with support and resistance levels too.
So still, quick question: if you break below that first standard deviation band back into the black area, is that a potential signal then to trigger a short idea?
Yes. Well, I don't want to say that it is to trigger an idea, because we're still on a higher time frame that I'm not, like, I don't trade on the weekly time frame. I don't trade on the monthly time frame. So this is more of just like a voice in the back of your head saying, hey man, below, I mean, it's also funny because it's a 420 guy. So you can be like, hey man, below this 420 guy, you lose this spot, like you're back in neutral territory. So it's basically like when you're in one of the bands, if you're in both of the upper bands, you have a good idea that, okay, one thing can happen more than the other thing can happen. Over here, you have no idea what can happen because they're both conflicting with each other. And then once you lose this level, once you lose that monthly band to the downside, now monthly is more neutral, weekly is bearish, and you've broken, a support and resistance level. You're clearly selling off below these lows. Yeah. So it might be a short idea. Executing this is going to be a lot slipperier because you're looking at, like, I don't know, this is NQ. So you're looking at needing a 60, 70 point stop to execute this on a higher time frame, which you totally can do. But as a day trader trying to live with a 15 to 20 point stop on NQ, I need to zoom in even more in order to be able to see that.
Got it.
But it's a sign. So when I do my prep every morning, this is all I'm looking at is where are we at trend versus market imbalance? Are we aligned on monthly and weekly higher time frames? And then I go over to the last thing I check is the volume profile. And for my purposes, I just use a rolling 6-day volume profile. So this isn't even going to show any of this stuff. We got to go all the way to the last 6 days to see what's been going on over here. But we can look at this month. I mean, here's a great example we could take. Okay, we start, here we are, June. Yeah, this is June 7, 8. So we're in here. This was also, again, I've said many times that I have had a rough couple of weeks. It's because I wake up every day and the monthly and the weekly are contradicting each other. These aren't easy trades for me when this happens. Right here, we are in the lower monthly standard deviation band, but on the weekly, it's been 2 days and we're climbing out. Like we're living in the +1, we're living in neutral. So nobody has been aligned at all over here. So yeah, it's been tricky. But the last thing I check is volume profile, because this is where you can really see stuff that you can't see in the candles, which is where did volume build, where are the holes, and you can start to glean information from that. Like down here, we're fighting to get out of, this is a really good spot actually. So here we are fighting to get out of the monthly -1, and we're hitting up against the weekly VWAP itself. And this is a pretty big node. There is a LVN below it, or an LVN above it, low volume node above it. And when we can't break through that, we stay stuck in this band. we go lower. Now, of course, it goes down and makes a poor low, which is annoying. But the market's going to do weird stuff. The only thing you can have is like a vague idea of which way you should be leaning going in to the day.
So, Stowe, let's talk about some terms here. So, LVN, low volume node, and you're referring to the volume profile on the right, which is a series of histogram bars that just measures how many contracts are traded at every price, correct?
Yep, that's correct.
And then the low volume, when you say low volume node, what do you mean by that?
Well, low volume node is just a place where, I mean, the best way to look at it is if the market is an auction, high volume nodes, big pointy bits, are going to be places where a lot of people transact. These are going to be busy, busy places because this is where price is the most fair at that time. So there's a lot of people participating there because price is fair. That's where the market should be priced. A lot of people agree. When you see low volume nodes, these are times when the market has been priced unfairly according to the buyers and sellers that are in this auction. So one way you can do and you just want to watch how it travels too. So we got down here on these spikes down, and you can see that when this happens and price reverses out of it, it usually makes what volume profile people and auction market people refer to as a tail, which is just a thin little piece of volume at the low, and then it will build more volume up here. So what this becomes is a bunch of people not interested in auctioning this, just a bunch of people sold it, and it came back quickly, meaning not a lot of volume was done down there. Not a lot of contracts were transacted. And then it got more into a balance. So you're basically looking for tails and capital Ds to show you where auctions exist or they don't. And in between the Ds, you will get little nodes. And you'll see often that I don't want to say to look for these as support and resistance because it's not always that clean. It's not always that easy, especially on NQ. Oftentimes what will happen is this will serve as resistance. You can go back, and this is hindsight, of course, but you can go back and see that the top of this auction was resistance a couple of times. The bottom of it was support a couple of times, which is just buyers at the bottom saying this is too cheap, sellers at the top saying this is too expensive. And once it chooses a direction out of here and moves into price discovery, that's when you can say, aha, the buyers were right. It was too expensive, or it was too cheap. And the sellers were wrong. It was not too expensive. And eventually the seller said, you know what, buyers, right here. The seller said, buyers, you know what? You're right. You're right.
Well, would I be wrong to say in these low volume nodes, there's just no one's really interested in doing a deal at that price?
Yeah, it's just it's just one side. You'll always see it at the top of a high volume node, right? So you rarely have just a straight, especially on NQ and ES, you barely have just like a straight line with no auction happening. There's usually some conversation that happens along the way. So what happened here is we auctioned down here, buyers and sellers partying, talking to each other. Then sellers decided, you know what, buyers, it is too cheap. And then it went up here, and they had another conversation that went from 29,603 to 29,360. And then once again, right here, sellers said, you know what, you're right, it's still too cheap. So then we went up and we built another node. Now, when you're building these little guys along the way, this is bullish continuation as you would view it on a volume profile. And then like while I'm watching this on a volume profile develop throughout the week and throughout the month, you're also looking back at, okay, we are now out of the lower monthly band. We are now entering the upper weekly band. So we're back in neutral month and upper weekly. So you can start to lean more. Okay, I see what's happening. And then you go over to the volume profile and you say, I see. We are starting to build volume above this auction. So when you see little auctions above the larger one develop throughout the week, that's showing you that buyers are moving price up, having new conversations, continuing to move price up. That's pretty much all I look at for volume profile. Just an idea of where are we partying, where do we used to party, where could we go from here based on what we're seeing. And now we sit at the end of the month, or at the end of the week, and we're bumping into this upper monthly band. Boy, was this tricky right here for me. Woof, did not like this. As we bump up into here, when I look at this on Monday again, I'll look to see, are we able to open up in here? Are we able to open in the upper monthly band? Can we start a monthly trend? If so, then I can lean long on that. But if we don't, then we're going to be back here in neutral territory. And like when we looked at May, this has a general slope. It's not like a pure 45-degree angle the whole time, but May spent the majority of its time above monthly VWAP and in these upper ranges. And you can see VWAP has a slope, whether it's a soft slope or a hard slope. We spent no time pretty much in the bottom band, whereas for June, we have pretty much traversed the whole thing now to the upper side. And when you see more of a balanced flat +1 and -1, this is a more neutral environment in general. So as opposed to in May, where I would consider this upper black quadrant between VWAP and +1, I would consider this bullish neutral, where you can still lean a little harder on the bullish side. I would consider this just neutral.
So Stowe, when you see, month to month, when you see this kind of, I'm going to use the word consolidation, but this kind of sideways action on a big picture basis, does that suggest to you that, hey, maybe the top is in this long-term bull run, at least for now, because we're zigzagging all over the place between the VWAP bands?
Yeah. No. It just means that it's just a much bigger field to play in, which to me means, so the whole point of doing this is like, I have a million plays. Which is my problem. This is a huge hole in my game. And I spend most of the time now working on my trading. I spend trying to plug holes in my game, whether they be mental holes or technical holes. I try to fill those little spots that I know are my weakness. And one of my weaknesses is when I see a market, I want to figure out how to trade it. And that means that if it's a market that I know I'm not good at, if I don't have some sort of guideline in place that tells me to stay away, then I'm going to try to figure out how to participate in that market, because I like to learn. I like to be involved. I like to trade. This is fun for me. So what this means to me, when the playing field gets bigger and the market wants to party on both sides of the action, that means that I have to take a ton of plays off the table. That means not pressing the highs, not pressing the lows, really cutting down a lot of the trades that I would take in a month like May. And May was great. I had a much better month in May. And I think every trader is different. Like some traders like to be mean reversion traders. It's all part of like your personality as a trader. And I think the better you can get at figuring out what you like to do and stay away from the things that you know that you're not very good at, that is adding expected value to your performance kind of by accident, just by the process of elimination. So I don't really look at enough. I mean, Jim, honestly, I don't know if the top's in or if the bottom's in or what the hell is going on most of the time, because I'm so zoomed in. By the time I get to actually trading on an intraday chart, this thing is just a memory in my mind of like, okay, don't do those plays. This is more of a base hit day. This is a day you can chase the trend. that sort of thing.
Yeah, market structure, sentiment, bias, all that stuff in the back of your head's being developed through this process, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So, Mrs. Watt, we have a lot of questions, and I think I'm going to hold off on a lot of them until you get to the next part of your presentation. But Mrs. Watanabe asks, I have a question for Stowe.
Sure.
What do you do when you're not sure about the volume profile shapes?
Oh, I'm not sure what you mean by not sure. If you're, well, I think in general, if you're unsure about anything, you shouldn't do anything. The end of the day, I took that trade and I was moderately confident in it when I entered it. And then I had to sit in it for an hour. And then it came back to my entry and I didn't like it anymore. It still worked, but my confidence in that trade diminished to like 10%. So there's going to be a lot of times like that. And it's frustrating. I was like, I'm annoyed that I got out of that trade, of course, because it would have made money. But it was still good for me to get out of that trade because my confidence went down. If I would have just stayed in that trade with my confidence being low, then I'm not working with an edge anymore.
Yeah.
Just because the trade worked, like a trade can work or not work for any number of reasons that are completely random and not related to you at all as a trader. And sometimes this is the trickiest part is when variance is on your side, when you make a mistake, it's very easy to reinforce horrible habits. And that happens to me all the time still. That's a constant battle to have to fight through that. So one of the things that I do is when I feel the confidence low, just get out because it doesn't matter if it works or not. I'm going to suffer just from being in that trade for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
I would say the same thing about volume profile shapes. If you're like, is this it? And the other thing too is volume profile is just showing you things in the past. That's important to know. So just because we get up here to the +1 and it's rejecting doesn't mean we won't just grind down here and then eventually break through it. This is all just context from the past. The other thing the market can do is it can just decide to auction here and fill this whole thing in. It doesn't need to do anything. The market's always right because it makes the rules. So, but in general, I'd say if you're unsure about anything, just don't do anything or get out because there's going to be times when you are sure, and that's when you need to show up.
Yeah. And that applies to the third martini, by the way. If you're not sure about it, probably don't need it.
Very true. Very true. The last thing I wanted to do with the VWAP bands is like I said, there's not enough. We'll go back to May here. So there's not enough information in the beginning of the month to use the monthly and in the beginning of the week to use the weekly. So what I like to do is I like to mark out where the +1, the -1, and the VWAP itself closed on those time frames.
So, and also let me just kind of clarify, +1 means the first upper standard deviation band.
Yep.
And +2 means the second upper standard deviation band.
Yep. I mean, I don't, it's pretty rare that we open above the +2. I mean, we did, which is like, at that point, I just get a little nervous. I'm like, oh Lord, now we're up here. Yeah. I don't deal with anything outside of these bands really. And for the purposes of the next 7 days of the month, I normally just use, I use the +1, first standard deviation above VWAP, VWAP itself, and the first standard deviation below VWAP. And moving into the first few days of that, I consider this area now between +1 and -1 to be neutral carryover. So this is like, in auction market theory, this is like a balance area. And market is out of balance and trend discovery up to the upside above it. And below it, it's trending to the downside. And so I do the same thing I would do with developing VWAP bands. I just use these levels. And then beyond that, I do the same thing for the week. So you can see I marked those. Let's say we just ended May. We also just ended this week here. So what I would do, because I mean, we're dealing with way bigger prices than I would normally deal with. All right, so let's all agree that around 30,150, this is the +1 close at the end of May.
Yep.
Then I would just go ahead. Now I draw them on the weekly as well. And this is where I'm really, and this is the whole point, is you start way big picture and slowly zoom into the time frame that you're going to trade. So now we open up June, and we also open up a brand new week, and we see that we are holding. Then this is when they actually start to get useful as levels, but you can see that we're holding the weekly +1 here. So from the previous week. So for the first 2 days of the first week in June, I'm using +1 VWAP itself and -1 from the previous week to determine my read on, are we trending up, are we in balance, etc. So I'm combining high time frame month. So I look in, so we open June and we're way above the +1. I'm like, cool. So then I do the previous week and I'm like, well, we're above the +1 in that thing too. All right, party on. So intraday, that's what I'm looking at here.
Got it.
Cool.
Yep.
Well, that's pretty much, I mean, I could go deeper into
No.
sloper
So
stuff
when you're
if
ready,
you want.
we have questions, man. Hang on. Well,
Yeah,
we
I
have
don't know. Is that enough? Is the chat? Did you understand? I haven't looked at the chat much, but yeah.
No, we're good. So
Okay.
let's get this out of the way first. I was going to save it for the end, but the way that you have your bands and your volume profile, is this native to NinjaTrader desktop, or is this a special plugin by design?
No, this is NinjaTrader. This is I have the order flow VWAPs up. So
Okay.
this is all NinjaTrader native. You do need the order flow NinjaTrader package for it, but this volume profile is an order flow labs tool, but NinjaTrader has those as well.
Got it.
But yeah, this is order flow package VWAP and VWAP bands, and you can set those guys. I'm gonna pull up the thing.
Got it. All right. So let's pick up some of these questions here. This is a long name. I'm not even going to try to say it. It begins with yes. I apologize. I'm going to call you yes. The question is, why RTH VWAP and why not Globex VWAP?
That's fair. This is a question I get constantly. I don't know, but RTH VWAP, I really don't. RTH VWAP to me tends to be more responsive on NQ for sure. But I use them on both. I think that you just need to pick one. I have found that if this is something I've been working on, is like if RTH VWAP and the 24-hour VWAP are very far away from each other and doing different things, I'll sometimes pull up the 24 just to see what it's up to. But in my experience, once you get at least 15 minutes to a half an hour into the session, RTH VWAP is running the show.
Got it.
I don't have anything other than vibes to lean on for that as a reason, but I don't know. I like it more.
But that's how you back test. That's how you view this every single day, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's all I've ever looked at.
Yeah.
I mean, I used to do 24-hour, and then I had RTH VWAP itself and the 24-hour bands up, and then I had both of them up. So I have gone through at least a year and a half of comparing them every day in live price action. And once RTH really gets going and gets it, because that's where a ton of the volume's coming in, right? So
Yeah.
if it's volume weighted average price, you want most of the volume to be the function of what you're looking at if you're using it as like a intraday trend guide, which is all I'm really doing with it.
Got it.
If there is a big Asia session, sometimes like if volume in Asia is crazy, then I'm like, okay, might take a look at this. But usually that's not the case. So yeah.
All right. By the way, I mentioned this Pax earlier today that I love the Asian session, and he yelled at me. So,
Well,
anyway.
well, you're not. I mean, it's the thing is like if you can find an edge somewhere, just trade it. Just know that your edge is going to go away
Yeah.
everywhere. You're like my edge is gone. I don't know. Like when this thing is doing this stuff, my edge is dull as a rock right now. Is that the saying? Dull as a rock. But it's going to come back. You just have to survive the times when your edge is not as sharp as it normally is.
Yeah.
I had a period last year where for about a month, I was destroying all Asia sessions because it was doing the same thing every day. And it was clicking with all the things that I look at.
Yeah.
And then that went away.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, you can trade anything if you can make money on it. And just know that like it's not there's no cheat code.
Yeah. So let's a couple more questions here. Armpit enthusiast. Do you yeah, that's the handle. Do you use VWAP bands for intraday trades or just to see the auction at a higher time frame?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So I use them. You can watch me on NT Live. I can pull this over. Make this big. So messy. Yeah, give me a second. I'll pull some of these indicators off
Yep,
here,
yep, take your
and
time.
it'll be less ridiculous. They don't make me uncomfortable, but I understand how some people are like, "That's a lot of lines, bro." Cool. So the blue bands, these are the RTH VWAP bands, and then the green and red line, this is RTH VWAP itself. So this is we can take a look at this. So you want to give it 15 or so minutes, and you can see we had a big, I mean, this day's a mess, so it's a good one to look at because this is not clean. But you can still see the bands doing what they're doing.
Yeah.
Big sell-off. We're living down here in the lower standard deviation. This is why I did not want to get long. This is why I was too chicken to buy. The weekly open on ES was all this mess. We're pounding into it, and big slope down right here into 945. And then as soon as you start to get 15 minutes to 30 minutes into the session, the band flattens out. Make sure you can see it. So the band eventually flattens out here, and then this becomes an area of interest. It's also the London 30-second opening range. I'm putting MGI in here. I'm using other things to execute, right? But as far as the guide goes, if I want to get long down here when this flattens out, which I should have done, again, I traded today like an idiot, but I should have been long here off the London OR, off the 24-hour VWAP, and I use these for price targets because just like auction market theory, if we can't leave, we are going to traverse the range. So first stop is VWAP itself. Next stop is the +1. You see we're doing it again. Also, as an aside, when the top and the bottom are both flat, when the bands are both flattened out, I have the 1.5 band in here just to give me some context, and that in a balancing market, I find the 1.5 to be a good reference point for pushes, high or low. So once price gets to the 1.5, I look to see if that band is going to start to slant with where price is pushing. And if it does, that signals that I think we're going to get into a trend. If it doesn't and we get back out again and the band stays flat, that tells me that we're still in balance. Okay. And the tricky part about balance days that nobody says out loud because everybody's like, balance days are the best. You just sell the top and buy the bottom. It's just like, yeah, great. But you don't know where the top and the bottom are until the end of the day. Yeah. And oftentimes you get stuff like this where like, okay, this was the top and then this was the top and then this was the top. But whereas price was not able to press further here past the 1.5, up here, once it got into the 1.5, you can see the band start to slope. It does come back to VWAP itself, but again, it starts to interact above that 1.5, and you can see the upward slope develop. So These are all tiny micro trends. This is not like this is going to do this for the whole day. The point is you want to identify something that you can take a chunk out of the market of, which is for me 20 to 30 points on NQ. And these are all of the opportunities I'm really looking for.
Yeah.
Especially when I'm in base hit mode, which I am now. I really should be. Because, if monthly and weekly are conflicting, that's where I want to live. But that's how you can identify the shift in the auction for me intraday is how the slope changes and develops.
So a couple things. Base hit. How do you define base hits versus home runs?
In a base hit world, you don't give a shit about a runner. You don't care what it does. You don't need one. You don't want to know about one. You don't want to think about the moon. You don't want to think about zero. You don't want to think about where your runner could possibly go based on any other time frame. You're just like, I got my money. I got my points. I don't need to trade again until I see another setup. That's base hit mode for me. Hidden home runs is if I'm playing for low of the day, which is some of my setups. There are some times where I'm playing for the low of the day and I want to get all the way back to the range. Then I'll manage my risk differently and plan for that. But base hits work all the time, right? You strike out a lot less when you can bunt, when you can foul off a bunch of pitches and run up the pitcher's hit count. When you have a small ball mindset, you can take that and grind it if you need to, especially if you're struggling, which at the moment I'm struggling. So I'm trying to get back into base hit mode. Yeah.
So you also mentioned, and I know there's people here, there's folks listening to us that might be a little bit new, might not be familiar with you and the Order Flow Labs guys. You mentioned MGI. What is MGI stand for, and what is it?
Yes. So MGI stands for Market Generated Information. This is just stuff that the market does or it doesn't do. For example, let me get to the end where they're all listed. So the IB high, IBH is the initial balance high. Overnight high is the high of the ETH session or Globex. I consider the VWAP stuff to be MGI. This is information that the market is creating. This is nobody's levels. It's not secret. It's just stuff that they're doing. This shaded area here is the first 5 minutes of the open. It's the 5-minute opening range. The ORM is the middle of that. PDH is the previous day high. When you have these, and you have these lines on your chart so that you're not constantly having to look at like the world's biggest chart or have a bajillion screens. So you can actually see, all right, previous day high is here. And you can quickly glean things from that, like, okay, we're spending time above previous day high. What does that mean? We're above yesterday's auction. Cool. Is previous day high support and resistance? It was a really annoying one that it kept losing and gaining again. So it wasn't very clean. But ultimately, we spent the rest of the day above it and we closed up here. So
yeah. So it's actually the next, you kind of just touched on this question, but let me read it to you anyway. It's from Day 9 Traders O. I have a question. When you guys always refer to daily open, last week open, this month open, midnight open, etc., like that, what do they actually tell you?
I mean, that's just where those things opened is really all that they tell you. We have found, now I don't use midnight open. Also, some of us disagree. It depends on who you're talking to. I use RTH open and I use the London 30-second opening range and I use the weekly open. Those are all I really look at. And it's just like the weekly open can kind of serve as a pivot. Let me see. Yeah. So this is ES. I still have all my monthly MGI on here. So, and weekly. So the weekly open is all that it is, right? So it's just something to look back on and see where are we based on that. So we gapped up a bajillion points and ran, right? This weekly open has a statistical percentage to be, I think it's like 72, 77% that it's retested on Monday and Tuesday. It wasn't, so we were out of that statistical probability. But this, when we're up here and the weekly open and people bought it like that, this is a bullish environment. But it also gives you something to know that like this is where a lot of players exist. There is going to be more people here when we get down to them. So for our intents and purposes, they serve as, I don't know, a landmark, I guess is a good analogy. I don't want to say pivot all the time, but yeah, it's a landmark.
The point of interest.
Yeah, it's a point of interest. It's a landmark.
Yeah.
What happens when we get back to it? Yeah. We should get back to it. There's a lot of people that traded there, and they never got talked to again after this piss missile. And then obviously they're less important. It's not less important on the day, but I mean, look at today. I marked the RTH open. It's this blue line right here. So we opened and immediately sold, like quick. I guess we ran the overnight high for 10 seconds and then big sell volume came in. For what it's worth, as much as we eventually made our way back here, we didn't really do much above the RTH open today. Mm-hmm. So you can look back at the RTH open itself and probably the 30-second opening range and be like, this was primarily selling up here.
Yeah.
The whole day. There was a buyer down here, but we opened up here and sold. Yeah. 1, 2, I would even argue 3 times. This last push to get weekly VWAP, yeah, I mean, wasn't spectacular. So it's a landmark.
Yeah. So Jim Z has a couple questions. He put them in early, but let me read them to you. The first one is, if we're in balance, where do you usually look to engage? Buying between the -1 and -2 and look to short at the +1 and +2, ? And stay away from the middle, ? How do you use the bands intraday to frame the idea?
Yeah, so same thing. It's all about slope, number one. So flat is balanced, sloping up, trend up, sloping down, trend down. And throughout the day, that's going to change all the time. Well, usually. In this market, that changes all the time. So you have to be ready to ditch your old bias, which is sometimes easier said than done, for sure. When we are in a really balanced environment in an intraday world, I will almost always go back to the big chart and be like, all right, and this is when I bring this up on NT Live, when you see this purple gray guy come out, it's almost always because we're in a balanced day and I need to refocus myself and be like, all right, where the hell are we actually? Because, being in an intraday chart, that's like being, that's like you're sitting on the trail and all you can see is like 10 feet down either trail.
That's a good analogy.
And then you pull and you're like, all right, well, where the hell am I actually? Because I feel lost right now, but I know that if I looked at a bigger map with my actual location on it, I'd be able to get some bearings.
Yeah.
So when I'm pulling this out, like today, yeah. And I'm glad that I can say I should have done the opposite of what I actually did today. Because it's a good mechanism for me. It's also good for you to see that this isn't hindsight weirdness. What I should have done today is we were in a balanced, choppy environment today. On the monthly, we spent all the time down here and we got out of it. And we are in what I would consider to be slightly bullish neutral. The VWAP's pointing up a bit. We're spending a bunch of time above it. On the weekly, we sold off and then we reclaimed the -1. So those are 2 bullish signals that I should have had. Mm-hmm. I got a little wrapped up down here thinking that we were going to push below the weekly open, which if you look at the volume profile, you can see that I was literally looking to be short in the hole and I just got chewed up. So I was pushing outside trying to I was trying to push a short at the bottom of the biggest node of the last 6 days. Yeah, not smart.
Yeah.
So
Well, and then
yeah,
you kind of answered Jim's second question, but you maybe have something to add. He says, what's the difference between a clear trend day versus a balanced day? Where do you look to take a trade on, say, an uptrend day?
I mean, on an uptrend day, I wish. Well, I probably don't have enough loaded that I could show you on a daily time frame. But
Okay.
I think if we go back to May, you can see. So just imagine, use your imagination that this is not that these are all 500 volume candles, because this is a trend day. If it were zoomed in, the slope of the up, we're going to spend a majority of the time in the upper band. It's going to possibly come down and talk to VWAP itself. Sometimes it talks to the 0.5. I always like to just eyeball the in between if it's a really bullish day. But that slope is going to stay like that. Volume's going to dry. Volume's not going to dry up, but action's going to slow down. It's going to start to do grindy things. So you want to look for order flow reactions at the +1 to add, and then I like to take off at the 1.5, and definitely at the +2. So I'm on days I'm able to really ride a trend. They normally just look like this, where I'm just trailing out, and eventually you'll lose this +1. And at that point, you also have to look at the volume profile and be like, okay, is it over?
Yeah.
Then get out and stop riding the trend. Also hard to do.
So we have a few minutes left, and we have a couple of questions on target, but a little off, maybe just a tad bit. But let's talk about it.
Okay.
So a couple questions on, how do you see market orders, icebergs dropping on the tape without using time and sales?
You can see it on the DOM. Where is my ES guy?
Yeah, and if you can't graphic, if it's not easy to show on the stream right now, you could just talk through it.
No, it's fine. It's right here.
Okay.
I mean, market's still going. All right, so this is the DOM, also called depth of market, also called DOM if you don't like the nerds that created the DOM. Shout out to the pit traders. What happens is, so this is all resting offer. This is all resting bid over here. And these are limit orders. They're not actively doing anything. They're just sitting there. They are passive. The thing that moves the market is when someone hits a market order to cross from one side of the spread to the other side. So if I was at 72.75 and I hit a market order, it's going to cross over here to 73 and fill me on the other side of the spread. Same thing happens with a market sell order. That will cross the spread to the ask side and fill that. That is how the market moves around, is it is moved by market orders.
Yeah.
When you're watching the DOM for a long time, what happens is you'll get to a spot and you'll have to use your imagination. But say we get up here to 73, and right now there's 21 lots on the offer. If all of a sudden this at bid column, I'll reset it so we can see. If all of a sudden this is trades that transact at bid and at ask, so this is at bid and at the offer. If all of a sudden we got up here to this 24 guy and I start to see this number climb with no addition here to the limit order, this means that there is a computer program that's sitting there filling itself faster than, and it's hidden behind the book, so it's not showing its liquidity, but it means someone's crossing the spread into an iceberg order, which is named that because it is just below the surface. There is an order there that you can't see on the limit order book, but you can see because there are bids going into it, and it's getting filled at the at offer and the at ask, but there's not any resting liquidity there to represent the amount that's getting filled. This is much easier to see on ES because it moves slower. You can see it on NQ if you're fast enough, but
the visual inventory isn't big enough to justify the action.
Yeah, it looks weird. Like you'd see like 120, 150, 160 just sitting and you're like, all right, Well, and a normal person would be like, well, how the hell is that happening? Because there's not enough orders on the book, but that's because there's an iceberg there.
Yeah. Yeah. Very awesome. One last question here. We got about a minute left. This has to do with the infamous blue-red bars and a couple of versions of the question. But
Sure.
what is the indicator you use for volume delta, red and blue price levels on your chart at the right?
Yeah. So this is called delta volume profile. This is called delta at price. It's called many things depending on your trading platform. What I have here is set to show me every 60-point leg of NQ or 10-point leg of ES as far as what delta is transacted there. And all that delta is, it's just math. It's just the ask minus the bid. So it's just going to show you the totals here. Let me do ES.
Of trades that have been made already.
Right. Here, let's see. ES is probably better because this is per tick. It's not. All right. There you go. It's nice and big too. Okay. So this is just the ask minus the bid. So what this tells you briefly when looking at it is if you see a positive number, that's more buyers. If you see a negative number, that's more sellers because the ask minus the bid, right? How you use that to trade is when you see more buyers than sellers and price goes down, you can infer whether that delta is on sides or not. And if price goes down after more people sell it, that implies that the sellers are on sides from here. And again, I'm just using 10-point rotations. Yeah. I'm really zoomed in. The opposite is true. If you see a bunch of sellers show up, and this is how we mostly use it. I'd say we is in the order flow dudes, but if you see this sort of thing, you see a bunch of sellers right here, price goes below and then is reclaimed, and then you're also looking at what happens around it, right? So down here at 70, 75, only one lot traded. So this is like, it's the same concept as a tail on the volume profile. This is a tail on the delta volume profile where not a lot of people were interested in this anymore.
The buyer's partying, the seller's not.
Right. So all of a sudden, we get back above this thing. Now you can infer that these sellers are now offsides. So you saw volume dwindle out after a bunch of sellers tried to sell it. We're back above that spot that they tried to sell. So you can infer this is bullish activity. So then you just look and you're just in this 10-point leg. So you're like, all right, like what's my next stop? It would be here where these sellers were on sides. So you're constantly reframing the price action and the order flow that is coming in and changing all the time. But this is how you can get little clues as to what's developing.
Awesome. Well, we're up against time. Jason Disco, yes, this is the NinjaTrader platform that Stowe is using.
Yep.
Couple of housekeeping things that I want to talk about. And we're going to cover this hopefully in the next Develop Your Edge with Stowe. Stowe's built it's called the Vibe Check. Stowe, you want to talk about it for a couple seconds and just tell people how to get it?
Yeah, if you want, you can try out this. I don't want to call it a journal. I'm calling it a daily ritual. And what this thing is designed to do is it is a tool. It's a website. You can create a free account, a free profile, and every day it allows you to go through a daily ritual of assessing your emotional and physical readiness to trade for the day. It also allows you to input your trading plan if you'd like to, and then it gives you a readiness score. And the point is, and then also at the end of the day, you do a end of day check-in. You can import your trades directly from NinjaTrader if you want to see your P&L and your actual statistical breakdowns. But you also answer questions like, did I overtrade? Was I tilted? Was my confidence low? Like tons of boxes I'm going to check today. And over time, the idea is that so much of what we do as traders is unquantifiable in that the emotional and physical readiness stuff, there's really no statistical analysis for that. But my idea is if we log it every day, check in with ourselves every day, not only will that help create a good habit, but it will also show us that data over a long period of time. And maybe we can analyze when we should be pressing more, when we should be trading less. What does this readiness score mean for me? What does this sleep amount mean for me? That sort of thing. So you can go to, I think it's vibe.stowstats.com. Pretty sure. I should have been more prepared with that. Hold on. Yes, that's it. Vibe.stowstats.com. And you can sign up for a free profile if you want to.
Very awesome.
And also,
man.
I'm still building it. And there is a little feedback button on there too. If you use it and you have any things you'd like me to add or anything that's broken, please let me know. It's a free tool. It's totally free. You do have to give me your email address, but other than that, it's free.
Don't sell that.
I think it's in my T&Cs that I don't sell it. I'm pretty
All right.
sure.
There you go. Well, Stowe, thanks so much for spending, you're with us a whole hour plus after the bell rings. Thank you for spending this time with us.
Well, thank you, man.
That was a terrific presentation. I learned a whole bunch of stuff. I've been writing notes the whole time. So super, super awesome, man.
Thanks, brother. I hope it was okay. I don't know. I
It was
hope
great.
chat liked it.
It was great. We're going to do another one with you. We'll circle back for sure. So
All right.
in the meantime, you have a great weekend. Tomorrow's a holiday, everybody.
Yep.
The Globex is open for a couple hours in the morning, but be careful. Everyone is on a holiday, so it's going to be a little bit sloppy. It usually is on those mornings, so be careful. We're not broadcasting. We will be back Sunday night for the Sunday night open with Craig Shapiro and company, and that's a great way to get started, especially after a long weekend. So,
Yep.
having said all that, folks, the most important message, again, especially going into a long weekend, please be safe out there. Be good to each other. Thanks for coming.
Thanks, guys.